Hello and welcome everyone to day number 3, the final day, grand final spectrum when it comes to the PUBG Mobile Control Invitational. If you haven't been here the last few days, I'm Enigma. Join alongside me, one of the staples of the PUBG Mobile community, Bella Fox Gaming, which you missed it yesterday. You said you were gonna wear it. Today you've got the babe outfit on. How you feeling now?
I'm feeling good. Honestly, this is the most comfortable outfit I've gotten to wear since we started this, so I have zero complaints. But just want to point out, it's the shorts and all, so it's the entire outfit. This is not just the hoodie, brother. It's the actual full-blown babe outfit. I promised. I kept my promises.
Well, promises need to be kept, right? And for the most part, a lot of these people, from what I understand, you had moments to talk to them before the show, before the final day of the tournament. I know we'll get to that in just a bit, but for the most part, we got to understand what these teams are playing for tonight. What every day has led to this moment. Let's bring up that prize pool. Let's see what these squads have been battling it out for over the last 3 days of competition. $1,000 total, $500 for first place, second place netting you $300, and then third place getting you $200. And we've already made note of what we wanted to buy with them. It's something interesting, and well, everyone else seems to be a little bit different. I'm wanting the mustaches, and well, you're wanting the babe outfits in game, Bella. But for the most part, all these people, we're needing to have the understanding of where they currently lie. 2 days of competition, 10 total matches have been played so far, and even though it's a little different from last night, what we thought were the overalls, today we've got the correct scores here, Bella. What are we looking at here?
Man, if we are looking at a very close game. We've got first place all the way down through 9th place. That really, the point difference is crazy. I don't think I've ever been a part of a tournament where we actually had like 9 teams that could potentially make some huge moves today. So I'm expecting big things, the spiciest day we've seen yet.
Yeah, and well, spicy for the most part. You said top 9 or so for the most part. Only 3 of them get the prize pool, get a split of that lion's share of $1,000. And well, unfortunately, a lot of these teams, as the games go on, we will start discounting them, not being able to see them in the running for the top 3, because as much as you and I would like to see the tournament continue to go on, it doesn't work like that. Let's take a sneak peek real quick at our top elimination leaders, the ladies that have been dominating the lobbies here, Bella. Some names that you and I have been saying a lot about in the last 2 days. Today, I feel we're going to be seeing a lot more out of these 5.
Yeah, and it's really interesting when we look at this graphic. We've got 2 ladies from New Moon, 2 ladies from X-Force, and 1 from Panther. And when I know that when we were looking at this earlier in the tournament, we actually had 2 ladies from the Panther squad as well at that time. So we're seeing a lot of consistency out of some of these top squads.
Yeah, and I feel for the top squads, especially when you have multiple players up onto the leaderboard here getting the eliminations, it lets you start recognizing, hey, these people are a force to be reckoned with. And well, for the most part, New Moon Esports, even though they're the lowest of the 3 names kind of listed here, they actually have the most eliminations so far in the tournament, sitting at a net of 65, closest being 51 from X-Force. So we're talking a 14 elimination difference here, Bella. And well, as we get into the first map here, Aaron Gale, we can only figure for those numbers to be going up tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking for the ladies to put on a show tonight. I was actually able to talk to quite a few of the teams, and you know, as we look at this playing path, and it's going to be a northern playing path going from east to west, so I don't know, maybe someone will dip off there at Zarky. It's always a possibility, but I highly doubt it. I want to point out that, you know, in talking to some of these top teams, especially referencing the Panthers, X-Force, and New Moon, who we just saw had the top fraggers in the room, Panthers are saying that they're a fairly newer team that just came together. So they are looking to become more aggressive while continuing to work on their synergy. And at the same time, X-Force said that they're looking to shore up a few loose ends in terms of miscommunications and a few mishaps, but overall they're looking to go hard today. And New Moon said that they're not planning on hot dropping anybody, but that they do share a spot with someone, so it could get spicy if it needs to be.
Yeah, and well, New Moon especially, I'm seeing it right now just there at Yasnaya, splitting with the 3rd place squad of the Panthers. So definitely teams to look out for. I really enjoyed when you had brought up New Moon, not really wanting to change up too many things, not looking to hot drop just yet going into the final game. Maybe that could change those 2 or 3 point differences if you feel you have the eliminations, the gun skill under your belt, I mean, shit, why not go for that 4v4 and try to claim the tournament early on? But we're talking 5 games, right? We're getting a little bit of ahead of ourselves. Few matches. We're talking Aaron Gels, Miramar, and a Rondo to still be played out. And well, circle shift first popping for this map 1. We're talking towards that western side of the map, towards the Goexia area. A lot of these teams, they opted to drop early on towards this eastern side of the map, Bella. We're going to have to see if they're going to make rotations early or not.
Yeah, I mean, quite a few of these teams, like you said, are going to be outside of where that first zone is. Interesting to see that X-Force is not going to be giving up that Millie spot. They are actually driving all the way down there. No, with the knowledge that it is going to be outside of the zone. They're like, I don't care. I love the loot here. Ladies, I don't blame you. You know, there's like at least 10 8X scopes laying around there. So I'm a big super fan of that. But interesting. I'm really gonna be interested to see what happens here with the Panthers and New Moon Esports, because like we said, both of them are in the contention and they are, you know, running for first place potential opportunities here. With them sharing Yasnaya and it's not in the zone, are they going to take that gentleman's agreement out of the gate early on and not engage with each other, especially because they're not going to be in the zone? Or are they going to try and duke it out and eliminate one of them? I am going to be keeping a close eye on those teams.
Yeah, if I was to have to hedge my bets, I'd be feeling it would just be that gentleman's agreement, leave the compounds, leave the POI, because even though Yasnaya looks small, it's so compact with the apartments for the loot density. It allows these two teams to drop. My only concern is kind of what the vehicle count is going to look like for these teams, especially if you kind of prevent each other from using the ones that spawn inside of Yasnaya. So we'll have to kind of wait and see for that for the most part. But we're seeing Katch Esports currently. It's going to be all the way down by Milta, down south, dropped sort of close to X-Force, but like you made mention, not fighting them. They opted to rotate all the way down Millie, and we got to bring it up. You said, oh, they're going to rotate down Millie. No one wants Millie in the lobby other than X-Force here, Bella. They're the squad that's been landing there, and yeah, even though it's out of circle shift here, with them making the rotate at least a little bit towards their POI into Millie, they're closer than most of the teams still in making that next circle rotation.
Yeah, I mean, they're really bordering right there on the line of it. And first of all, I don't think it's any coincidence that the first place team loves Millie. So what do we learn? Millie potentially equals the first place position. I'm just going to call it. I'm just going to say it. I love them for loving that spot and for not giving that up. But, you know, the good thing for them also is that one of the bridges is already in zone. So they're going to be able to loot up with zero issues, zero problems. Everybody's going to get a vehicle, and then they could just drive right over that bridge and pop right over there near Goexia or somewhere in Pmci, outskirts of it, and they're already center zone, setting up for end game, or mid game, I should say.
And I feel for the mid game especially, I'm interested in seeing how many of these teams that landed towards Yasnaya, Mansion, even Stalber, if they're going to opt to rotate all the way around the circle towards the George Pole bridges, maybe even try to backfill the areas like Hospital or Quarry, because we're talking half a circle on the west side still not even occupied for many squads. No player even having reminisce of teams being able to be in the lobby. So as we see it here now, right? Western Edge completely free. I'm interested in seeing which of these IGLs aren't going to be wavered by the fact that it's the final day here, Bella, and still be able to make calls that matter the most.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, you made reference, you know, that entire west side of the map is just as empty as it humanly possibly could be. And if none of them are going to be in this area, even starting into the game, if the zone continues to shift in that direction, we're going to see all these teams have to make a mad dash to be the first one in there and set up their, you know, set up camp where they want to call home, because nobody's over there right now.
I always like home. Homey feeling. Hopefully it's something that's a little bit of more of a compound. I don't know if you'd want a shack. Could you call a shack a home? Would you want to?
I mean, if they, you know, sometimes hiding in the smallest places is it's like hiding in plain sight. I've always said, like literally one of my phrases that I've used for years is always check the shack. Because PUBG Mobile loves to hide 8X scopes in those things. It's hilarious. Really? Yeah, you could be running around looking for them and just go check a shack, and there's a good chance you're going to find one in there. So I feel like they intentionally do that. Everybody's eyes are going to be turned to maybe some of the bigger compounds, some of the bigger homes. They're not expecting a 4-man squad to be sitting in a shack. Who knows? That could be the genius 200 IQ play that we just didn't see coming.
See, and that's the Bella strat then. We're talking car 98, 4-man shack camp. Maybe not even have a vehicle on the backside. You just full blown just rat someone out. Take their vehicle if they drive up, right? But unfortunately for a lot of these teams, still opting to kind of play it slow, calm, cool, and collected at Serenity. Quite a large split, having some players actually using the slots machines, or excuse me, the vending machines to get extra loot going on, but still early on. We're talking only 7 minutes into the match. A lot of these teams still kind of finishing their loot patterns, their pathing, so to speak, and trying to get a lay of the land when it comes to this first Erangel map of the night. And I feel this is going to be a real telltale sign, Bella, especially for those top 3 squads, the Panthers, X-Force, and New Moon Esports. And the fact that if any of these squads don't have a good performance game one and the other 2 do, I feel we're going to start seeing maybe too strong of a mental strain onto the squads. They're going to want to perform, and that's where we start seeing a lot of, kind of over-eagerness or overstepping even with wanting to be the hero in the lobby. And, well, unfortunately for the game of PUBG Mobile, they're not fans of heroes. Everyone's wanting to be the villain, and, well, with a zone like that, Goexia, they're the only team really near the dead center of the spot.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I feel like half of comp is having mental fortitude. So obviously, all these ladies have gun skills. They wouldn't be comp players if they didn't. So not only do they have to have that, though, but you got to have strength in the mental game. And so not panicking when things don't go your way, or, having the ability to kind of think your way out of a situation is really key and really important. And if something doesn't go right, they're going to need to be able to collect themselves back together, brush it off, and move into the next game with a whole new fresh train of thought and not let it get to them. So if anybody, starts to show cracks, that's going to be a little bit of a scary situation for them.
And scary situation, I'm actually seeing it on my sort of map side screen. You see it here now, actually currently Luna Esports driving in between New Moon and Lily Esports alongside the Panthers coming down from the north side. So 4 or 5 squads all making the same timing on rotations, and unfortunately we're seeing it here now. It actually looks like 2 squads opting to fight. Lily Esports crashing on the team control. It does have 1-for-1 knocks onto either side. Luna Esports as well in the distance, potentially looking for a third party at this compound fight. But for either of these squads, it's always a question mark. Do you go for the engagement? Do you go for these knocks and eliminations? And, well, for Lily Esports, it looks like one of their players, Bella, already being down and out, being a 3-man squad, but having that knock early on, opting to take this engagement, take this fight in the center circle.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a really interesting, scenario that we saw going on here. Lily Esports, they're on the outside looking in. All of these team members in control have compound locations. Each one of them kind of spread out in the different houses. So they're going to have to decide, being 1 man down already, is this something they want to continue to do? Ali with the nade, trying to get the knock onto Chapina, but she wasn't able to, unfortunately. But one of the team members from Team Control did go down, so whether Lily Esports is going to continue to push on this and try to capitalize on it will be interesting to see.
And it looks like actually Lily Esports, not sure if it was them or possibly a third party, but at least 3 members down, for Control, one of them being eliminated. So what I thought was going to be potentially a good fight for Control Esports, now down to just a solo, the last 2-story building that hasn't been cleared out. Utility usage coming through. Good damage coming in, and Lara, well, it only takes 1 when you land it through the window. Unfortunately for them, though, Luna Esports now trying to backfill, look for the engagement, trying to replicate essentially what Lily Esports just did to Team Control. And, well, Nicole, this was the Star Stellar player. I felt day number 1, day 2, maybe a little bit more silent, but nonetheless, this squad, Luna Esports, there was a reason why they finished in first place from the qualifiers for the bonus points. There's a reason why they're currently 4th place in the lobby, just 7 points behind first place. They're definitely not out of the running just yet. So having a squad like Luna Esports possibly getting active on you this early on game 1, this might be a disaster scenario.
Yeah, I don't think this is at all what Lily Esports wanted to see happen. Not only did they just get out of that confrontation with Team Control, and they did make it out, but they are down 1 man. And Luna Esports, coming off such a great day yesterday, is, like you said, that is not the team you want to see staring down at you by the end of the, at the end of a gun barrel. So, but they're also respectively kind of staying on each other's sides. We were taking shots from afar. Doesn't look like either team is going to continue with that engagement. Maybe it was just like a, hey, what's up, and see if they could get lucky with this, you know, get lucky with it. But right now it looks like they're kind of at a stalemate. So kind of, you know, we'll just have to watch and see what happens here.
No, I don't mind watching. As long as I'm not playing it. As long as I'm not stressing. As long as I'm not stressing about certain points in the lobby. It's not anything too crazy, but as I see it, at least a lot of teams currently rotating dangerously close to one another, really kind of just holding each other hand in hand. Actually looks like Goexia finding 1 or 2 players of Burn and Silence on rotation. So nice elimination for a squad, but unfortunately, if you're a Burn and Silence fan, that's not something you want to see because you're wanting the damage to be done.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like Burn and Silence, both in their vehicles, one heading up toward the top of the mountain and the other one heading around to the side. They're going to turn and try and get away from that situation. But as we can see on the map, actually, Dior Esports looks to be heading right into one of the Burn and Silence players at the top of the mountain. So it'll be interesting to see if that turns into anything. This little area is a potential hotbed, and I don't know if Burn and Silence as a 2-man team is going to be able to hold their position for very long.
Bella, I got a question. Just for you. Just for you. Okay.
Hit me up.
Everyone
Hit
in
me
chat,
up.
you can answer it afterwards, okay?
Wait,
We're
okay.
seeing the circle shift here. I'm needing to see some sort of prediction come out of you. That was the one thing I knew I was forgetting something at the
Dang it.
start of the game. You were not wanting me to bring it up yesterday. You
Hate it.
were the prophet. Come on, I mean, you went 3 for 6. Or 3 for 5, excuse me. You were over the 50% mark. So this game, while we have the map up, which team are you feeling for this game?
All right, let me use my eyes here and take a good look. It is definitely not going to be that team right now. Okay. I'm kind of feeling New Moon. I don't know.
Moon?
I got
See,
a
now you're
New
stealing
Moon
my
itch.
picks.
Oh,
Now
what?
You're stealing
What?
my picks. They got the most elims in the lobby. I mean, you got it. That's an easy one for the most part. But since you picked it, I definitely. We're going. I'm going X-Force. Down south, they've got some damage done, at least for the most part. Not any eliminations just yet, but trying to make their way for the most part. And unfortunately, we're seeing it now on our screens. Serenity having to deal with Goexia, the 4-man fully pulling up, and well, it actually looks like it's not even going to be a fight for the most part. The eliminations going their way, and for Goexia, even though having 1 player knocked, they will be able to get the reset, and I feel this is a great spot for them to be in because even though they didn't have maybe the best performance day 1, day 2, coming into day 3, they are one of those borderline teams you were mentioning, Bell. They can move up the leaderboard tremendously off of just 1 win, and well, we've seen it happen before in previous tournaments. This is a team that I'm potentially looking out for if they can clutch up a top 3 here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the positioning that they have is great because you kind of have oversight of a lot of different directions. You can see back behind you toward the mountain. You can see over to Gekka. Like, it's just a really good compound to hold, and with a lot of good sight lines. Now, they do need to be careful. I'm sure they're going to be sending out scouts to kind of take a look around, see if they can see anybody coming and whatnot. But they need to be careful because, you know, just to the back of them, there is Dior Esports. To the west of them is Moon Esports and the Panthers and everybody. As this circle continues to close in, that, you know, prime real estate, everybody's going to want a piece of it. So it's going to be a lot harder for them to hold down.
The scary thing, though, I feel, is when we're at this part of the map, just south of Gatka, what prime real estate is there, right? We're talking maybe 1 or 2 shacks. If you're one of those tiny home fans, maybe you could get it done. But everything there on the west side, if it was to get, I guess even say stage 5, stage 6 circle shifts that way, I mean, you're fighting. You're not taking the compound fights. And unfortunately, if you're anyone but New Moon, Nina Esports, or even X-Force, if it pulls to that western side of the circle shift, well, you're really going to be struggling for a position. But a lot of teams still, I'm actually noticing quite a few players still remaining. We're talking 11 squads in the lobby, 40 players total. Some teams obviously losing 1, Serenity being really the only solo squad out there, while the rest of the teams, well, it seems game number 1 opting to keep all 4 players alive for as long as possible.
Yeah, I think everybody's kind of playing it a little passive isn't necessarily the word. I mean, passive and safe, I guess, are the descriptions of it, but it is, you know, they don't want to go out, and they don't want to set a precedent for themselves going into this very first match. I would rather play a little bit safe and be sure of my decisions than, you know, getting a little squirrely out there just because it's the last day and my nerves are getting to me. So I don't fault anybody for doing anything like this, and as we can see, the zone did shift down south. Force Fem is going to be holding the top of this hill, but they do need to be careful because Phyra IXIA is right to the side of them, and New Moon is also incoming. I feel like we're about to see some engagements.
Yeah, but seeing how New Moon's rotating, I think they're actually going to slam onto the Katch Esports compound, while Nina Esports is a team really backfilling X-Force. For Phyra IXIA, you want to make sure that you're able to keep at least your part of the mountain under control, but we see it now, even with the backfill, a little bit of an overstep potentially for X-Force to be able to recognize the position they're in. This is a team where you make moments good into great ones, and well, getting elimination under your belt, being able to start off strong and be that player that is able to keep the squad afloat is what you're expecting. And well, for the most part, it looks like even with the knock, even with the shots coming down on the Nina Esports, New Moon now, they opted to pull up. They didn't take the compound slam, and well, they're trying to take the fight here and now, Bella.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what New Moon and what X-Force do right here. Obviously, we've got New Moon lobbing nades in the direction of X-Force, trying to connect onto them. Looks like we also have Katch Esports getting the knock onto Sophia, I think it was, from New Moon. So we've got third-party opportunities going on right now. Getting real crazy.
Crazy indeed, and it really sucks when the player that I was just hyping up getting the knock and elimination on Anita being the one to fall. And well, for New Moon, this is your moment to strike. Now you have the smokes up, you have the utility usage coming through, and well, you understand where they're at, but Diablo does too. Her landing the nade, opening up the fight, making it a 3v3, making it a 2v3, and now a 1. The one-person army of X-Force salvaging the situation. No answers from New Moon. Just Diablo now, going against Diablo, excuse me. Trying to find the engagements, and well, the pre-fires, they're starting to come through, trying to fish out the player in the smoke here, Bella, and well, you gotta be able to find the mark, but the nade does look good. Headshot damage coming through, not being able to find it off the nade, and well, we've got 2 guns for a reason. We can hold, we're just pre-firing as pre-firing can be. Both players going and down, and well, for X-Force, it's a big fight to win, but how long can they last on the mountain?
Well, I mean, they are injured, and they need time to heal up, and Dior Esports is not going to give that to them, but it doesn't matter. They need to watch their backs because Luna Esports is also looking in their direction. This is kind of the third-party situation. I mean, it's going to be actually helping X-Force try to get picked back up in the moment. They've already got one of their players in a car, and they're going to be trying to move on out of there, but they need to be careful because Phyra IXIA also is smelling blood in the water. If Dior Esports, let's see if she can get the pickup on this, because as they've already got 2 members down, hopefully for them they can get the pickup and then turn their attention to Luna Esports, who are cooking nades.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Luna, it looks like they're actually down to a duel. I would have liked to see some sort of aggression, but with Killa's off angle, she's able to just completely congest down onto the Luna Esports duo. And even with it being Wanheda and Tokyo, the 2 players that we've seen pop off for this squad, it doesn't matter if you have to pick up the nades, they're coming through pre-fires as well. It looks like potentially an off angle shot coming through, and well, with the elimination feed lighting up, this is where you start making moves because you understand everyone is taking engagements around the map. 2 players now down, Wanheda and Tokyo, trying to find the nades as a duo. Still needing to find the marks, not getting it just yet. Hitting the back of the shack does find damage, but 20 seconds left to work with before the blue zone starts shifting here, Bella. This is the moment of, do you decide to push or you decide to wait? You have the blue zone, you have the edge of circle to your advantage as a duo, and well, unfortunately for them, they've got to deal now with Phyra IXIA winning the engagement with the X-Force. Potential third parties coming in. This end game is looking a little disastrous.
It really is, and unfortunately for Dior Esports, they're the ones that are already in the blue zone right now. So Luna Esports has to take advantage of this situation. Their health is going to be going down. You do not want them to go out to the blue zone. Dior, though, is going to get knocked off, it looks like, by Phyra. So Luna Esports not able to capitalize on being able to pick those 2 men off, and Phyra IXIA being able to take those points away from them, which they desperately need.
Yeah, and points themselves. I mean, this was a squad that I was trying to hype up the first 2 days. Unfortunately, maybe just a little bit too much of a caster curse coming from me. But now with it being the last day, we see that looseness come out sometimes from some of these middle of the pack, lower end on the leaderboard teams. And well, for the most part, they're trying to get the knocks themselves. 2 players getting knocked, one of them actually being eliminated. That we're able to open up potentially the fight onto Luna Esports, and I'm liking this play. We can go for the reset later, a minute left on the clock. Try to apply the pressure with the man advantage, but the reset comes through. Bella with 3 fires do as well, and while we're finding him through the windshield of the car. 1 HP, prone, and a dream. Does get a little bit of a tag on a solar, but it's essentially a 1v1 scenario on the buggies, and Wanheda peeks out. The reset comes through after the revive and wins it as a duo. 4 eliminations. This is one of the GOATs in the lobby. Shout out to Wanheda. The follows, the Instagram posts, we see it all, and I expect something tonight after a performance like that. And well, for the most part, with her winning that engagement there, Bella, we're talking a duo still. Even though they only have 6 elims, they've been making work as just them 2, and well, I expect them to do more here and now.
Man, that was absolutely impressive, because let's be honest, those girls just went through hell and back to live through that engagement. Multiple different teams went through that entire scenario with the blue zone facing at their back, and in the face of pressure, Wanheda was able to pull that off. I am so impressed. And now with the blue zone moving, they're able to both get in their cars and move into the zone. Luckily for them, most of the rest of the teams were over here dealing with each other. Katch Esports, Moon Esports, and Lily Esports, in addition to the Panthers. So that is going to give them the opportunity to sneak up here on the backside, maybe potentially putting themselves in a good opportunity. Be careful, because Lily Esports is coming up on the side, and that's what I was worried about. It was a great, move on their part to try to come up this backside unnoticed, but unfortunately, Lily Esports played spoiler.
Yeah, but for Luna Esports, thankfully the player wasn't actually thirsted there. There is the possibility still of getting the revive. The nade, though, unfortunately, Ali making sure that that's not going to be the case. Solo play here and now. This is the player that's been making it happen. Smokes are out, and well, she does have room to work with if she could reach the buildings here. Actually not currently occupied from all of the engagements on the hillside. The third party's coming through, allowing parts of this late game circle to be open, free for the taking. And well, for Lily Esports, they're fine with the one and done. They're turning their sights now, Bella, towards the Panthers, towards Katch Esports, both squads that are in the next circle shifts. But with it being so close to the edge, the compound is really not too safe of a position. And well, we're really going to have to be seeing, I feel, the key component in this late game here, Bella, is going to be what the utility usage looks like. Who's going to be able to land the frags? We're not seeing the mortars, unfortunately, pulled out this Erangel, but the smokes and utilities from the mollies and such, I think that's going to be the deciding factor here.
Absolutely. And let's be honest, everybody had plenty of time to loot up, so I expect everybody to have a ridiculous amount of utilities left in their back pocket. Katch Esports is the only team left in here with their full 4-man squad up, and they also have a little bit of the compound to their advantage. So hopefully they're going to be able to connect with those needs and to work out. Unfortunately, though, Lily getting out, the last remaining player. Luna Esports is out, not to take anything away from Wanheda, because she did absolutely amazing. But now Ali and Lily Esports is going to turn their attention to the Panthers and Katch Esports, who are fighting each other. So looking for a potential third-party opportunity right here, right now.
And I feel I was laughing there because I was seeing 5 or 6 frag grenades just start getting hucked by Katch Esports. They were able to find one of the Panthers. Unfortunately, just the cross being a little bit too much from the Lily Esports off angle, preventing the push. So circle shift, we see it now. We can't see it too well, but it does pull towards the Panthers. It's actually going to be on that knocked player down there at the shack. So we're looking for a possibility where the terrain's going to be. This wall might very well be in play just a bit towards that smoke almost, but for the most part, both of these teams on the high ground here, Bella, will have to move down, as well as the Panthers slowly edging their way out of the 1 stack. It's really going to come down to who can land the shots here, and I'm interested in seeing what Lily Esports is going to do. That's the furthest squad, and with them having the vehicles, I'd like to see them potentially just full slam as a group, but They're not doing that, Bella. We're seeing them run on foot. They're taking the engagement of the Katch Esports and they're trying to put them in the blender.
Yeah, man, and it potentially is kind of turning into a 3v1 situation back there because Taro is having to take on all 3 members of Lily Esports while the remaining team members are looking down and trying to deal with the Panthers. So if Taro is able to get, she connects on the one. Not sure. Here comes her second teammate. She absolutely goes down. Taro goes down as well. One team member up of Lily in the corner. And unfortunately, not gonna happen. Katch Esports with the winner chicken dinner.
And that's what we wanted to see. I was seeing the players going one by one at the doorway, the doomsday scenario if that player had a shotgun inside. But thankfully for Katch Esports, the man advantage comes through. I believe actually opening up that engagement with a knock from Jess. So great stuff coming down in the end. This is a squad that wasn't in that top 4 range. They were up there a little bit more in the top 7 side, that left panel we'd seen at the start of the broadcast. But for Katch Esports, a win. We were talking, I believe now I'm seeing it here, 79 points before that game. The win column, 10 placement points, the eliminations they got coming out of that game, Bella, could very well shoot them up past a team in 3rd or 2nd place. So great stuff from them, but I feel there's so many squads from that game, Bella, that it's just so much to talk about.
Man, there really is. Although I do want to make one good note about Katch Esports because I was really harping on them yesterday that they needed, that like it was make or break time for them. And I feel like ever since that middle game yesterday, I don't know what they did and what gears they started turning on, but it is absolutely insane. They have completely turned their entire momentum around. But like I said, so going into 2nd place, the team that just went out, Lily Esports, had 10 eliminations, 2,100 plus on the damage. That's absolutely insane. Plus, we got to talk about Wanheda and her absolute goatness, dude. Girl is goating, walking all around. It was so impressive to watch.
Yeah, and I believe she's someone that's played multiple Titan series, if I recall. The Tom coming in, NA side, showing the love, so to speak, and making lots of content, lots of live streaming, something that I feel we honestly lack with a lot of players. So being able to kind of represent, get the name out there, and well, there's a reason why we say your name so highly, seeing plays like that in a 2v4 scenario, in the 2v2 situations, and well, for the most part, being able to have a teammate like that on your squad, I feel it's such a momentum boost. And for the momentum boost, let's take a look at the match results. This is game number 1 of the night. And well, if you're getting a win like that, 19 total points, I feel that's a damn good momentum shift.
Choo! That's huge. Katch Esports, that is absolutely huge. Things I don't, I think we're a little worried about here, though. Force Fem, that's the #1 team going into today. They finished out in 10th place with only 5 elims, and that's not going to be enough. So they're going to need to change things up a little bit. But some of these middle of the pack teams, Lily, not necessarily Panthers, but Nina, Luna, they were consistently putting up here. But man, 10 elims out of Lily and 9 out of Katch. Those are some bigger numbers.
Yeah, and the scary part too, you made mention of it. 1st, 2nd place essentially, 3rd place even, those squads, some of them performing while the other ones didn't, with it being the sort of map, I guess, 1 on the night, only 4 remaining. You're really going to be stressing, I feel, if you're one of these more inexperienced players in the lobby, Bella, of not having the best performance every game. And that's that mental strain, that mental fortitude that comes in, especially when it comes to grand finals. You were hyping it up day 1 and 2. That's kind of the prequel for the most part. Day 3 is where the time spice happens. And well, for the most part, I felt we got a pretty good amount of it coming into that game 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even though this is a finals overall, there's always in the back of your mind, like, I can make that up. I can make that up. I can fix this type of situation. But then here we are, it's the last day. It's do or die for these teams. And so they have to keep their head in the game. They cannot, especially for some of these bigger teams like Moon Esports, Force Fem, that were at the top of the list. They didn't perform very well this first game. So they're going to have to go back here in between the games, brush that off like it never even happened, and get back in with a clear head.
Well, clear heads, I mean clear minds to say the least. And for a lot of these squads, we're seeing which teams came in with it for that map 1. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to be coming in with Miramar just momentarily when we come back. Game 2 of PMCI coming your way. Welcome back, everyone. Day number 3, grand finals, the cream of the crop. We're talking one game done and dusted. Coming up next, Miramar. I'm Enigma. If you're just joining us now, join alongside me is the woman herself, Bella Fox Gaming. And Bella, that last game came down to that end game. A lot of names sticking out, but ultimately one champion there.
All I gotta say is Katch Esports is catching fire, baby. It is so impressive to see this team turn it around. That is exactly what we wanted to see. And it's not easy for teams to do, honestly, especially when you have to overcome the level of expectation that they had coming into this because they had bonus points, okay? You can't get bonus points and then not perform. Everybody's gonna side-eye you for that. So the fact that they were able to go back to the drawing table and be like, you know what, this is not working, we're gonna fix this, and they've just come out swinging and haven't stopped yet. I'm excited to see the rest of the day because this could get really, as I like to say, spicy.
Well, spicy for the most part. Production telling us as well, looking at the overalls, we'll pull it up right now. They were saying there was a lot of shaking going on when it comes to the leaderboard. The Panthers overthrowing X-Force for first place. Katch Esports coming in before game number 1 tonight. So after 2 days of competition, in 5th place, Bella, being able to shoot up to 3rd place. And well, a lot of these teams, with it being so close, I feel this isn't going to be the only moment we're going to be seeing teams jump each other.
Bro, these numbers are insane. They're so close. That is literally make or break a few points. Oh my God. This could not be any better of a finals. I'm just so excited to not only be casting this, but honestly, just to be watching this because we are watching literal greatness out of these ladies. This is so exciting.
Yeah, and greatness for the most part. Unfortunately, it's not going to be just a one and done game, right? We're talking 5 total played tonight. One of them already being done. So with it being Miramar here, we're coming into the playing path. I'm not going to forget it this time. Bella, game number 2, predictions. Who we going with this game?
Hey, good question. Good question. You know, I'm feeling like X-Force is going to come out on top with this one. I feel like they had to go back in between that game and be like, something that didn't work. So I feel like they're going to come out swinging extra hard this round. So I'm looking for them to put up some big numbers today, during this game.
Well, the game itself, I mean, if you get a win, hopefully you get some big numbers under your belt, right? And for the most part, I feel we're really just going to be switching picks from game number 1. My pick's going to be New Moon Esports. The elimination tally still up there. That last game wasn't the strongest out of them, but I felt a lot of those top teams definitely didn't have the performance that they wanted. And well, with it being just one game played so far, maybe some of these squads were able to take your advice during the break, be able to kind of hit that mental brush, get that sort of mind cleared out, get the fog out of the way, because there's still 4 games. There's still room to improve and sort of produce results that you want to see. And well, with Miramar, this is definitely one of the best maps to do it. The playing path does finish, the circle does pop, and well, I'm only seeing 5 squads in this circle shift. East of Los Leones is going to be the central point, and well, if you're wanting to make the rotations on Miramar early, Bella, this is looking like a good zone for it.
Dude, you know, the last time I saw a zone that looked just like this, it was one of the most incredible esports games I've ever witnessed in the history of anything. It was so, everything ended right. See those two little itty bitty islands over there?
Yep.
That's where it all ended up. And so how amazing would it be if it just kept going over that direction? I'm kind of looking, it started exactly like this. I'm just saying, I don't know if zones like repeat themselves or if that's completely randomized, but maybe this is the one that they ended up getting. And it's interesting because of this playing path with me picking Force Fem, they have always and consistently every single time dropped at prison. They did not go prison today. In fact, they went as opposite of that as they could humanly get. And they're up there at Tierra Blanca. So they're already making changes. And they, you know, we know that they'll drive where they want to go. I mean, we see them go down to military. So, you know, even when the zone is not anywhere near that. So I feel like they have already changed things up. They know they got to turn and burn it this game. And they're making the changes out of the gate.
Gate for the most part, that's what it's gonna have to be. And I feel for X-Force, for this being their sort of secondary drop spot, what I assume it has to be, for a circle shift like this, you're almost fine having the zone like this, because if they're able to make sort of a quick loop path, maybe skip a building or two from their 4 split drop spot up there in Bianca, you're able to go all the way down the coastline, all the way through Impala on that main roadside. And well, when you only have the Panthers and possibly Serenity in front of you, it's very easy to work around squads early on Miramar coming the rotation. So I'm interested in seeing what kind of spots on the map get taken. What are kind of our congestion points when teams make the rotations? We saw in that Erangel match last game, right? That hillside that X-Force held, even though they did such a good job holding on for so long against 2 or 3 different squads, when half the lobby's making the same moves as you, it's really hard to be able to be the last team standing on the hill. And well, thankfully for a lot of these teams, Bella, I feel Miramar's got a little bit more hills than Erangel. It allows you to be able to play it maybe the way you want, and possibly we'll be able to see teams like Moon Esports or the likes of it be able to get their star stellar players in spots to really make the magic happen.
Yeah, I mean, this is a map where you can really kind of be snaky. You know, it's easier to sneak up on people and to just kind of get into where you need to be without them seeing you, because there are so many hills. It's not like a wide open terrain where you, if you can, you know, if you can see people, great, but this is actually a map where you gotta keep your head on a swivel, because otherwise there could be somebody on the little itty bitty hill right next to you. It's gonna be great for engagements though too as well, because I feel like it's gonna be a contributing factor for maybe longer fights. You know, it's not like somebody's just gonna roll right up on these ladies and pounce. I mean, they kind of keep their distance and they use the terrain to their advantages, whether you're on the receiving end of that or not. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what they do with that. But as we get looted up into this, I mean, reminder, coming into this, the overall rankings, there's only 2-point difference between first and second, 2-point difference between second and third, a 1-point difference between third and fourth, and a 5-point difference between fourth and fifth. And I can keep going. Never mind to mention that 7th and 8th place are literally tied. So these are such close games that their decision making is going to absolutely factor in and matter. They're going to have to take into account not only what they're doing, but potentially what other teams could be doing as well. So I'm really going to be interested to see the decision making and gameplay that happens here during this game.
And I feel for this game, we're actually seeing a little bit of action going early on. Dior catching one of the Serenity Esports players out on rotation, possibly going right through Minas Generalis. Elimination. Maybe even going for a 180 turn, trying to take the fight with Serenity. But nonetheless, I feel it's just that same pressure that makes diamonds. And we'll be able to see which squads will be able to perform when it matters most. I believe our highest point total match so far of the tournament was 24 from, I believe, the Panthers, or one of our top performing squads. It's definitely doable for at least a lot of these lady squads in the lobby. I feel, especially tonight, Bella, being the last 4 matches of the tournament. If you want to move up the leaderboard, especially if you're in that 7th, 8th place range, 73 points, even though you're 30 points back, essentially, from the first place spot, you get a win and 10 eliminations, you make that gap essentially a 1-game difference. That's the kind of stuff that we're wanting to see. And well, for the most part, I'm just hoping it's not going to be a blowout after the second game, right? I want to keep this leaderboard tight, because for everyone watching, especially you and I doing the commentary here, Bella, we want to see the magic happen and always be starstruck when it comes to the overalls.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it like 100 times. I love watching good people play this game, and they have like far exceeded my expectations for that. No, never mind that these ladies are just like doing it for, you know what I mean? Like, they're doing it for the rest of us. Like, as a lady myself, thank you very much. It's nice to see we got some good representation of ladies kicking ass out here, and I love to see this. And so I think that for all of these mid placement teams, I'm sure that they're feeling the pressure, maybe not, but like, you know, they got to be feeling a little bit of pressure here. It'll be interesting, you know, except for Lily, or for Tara from Lily, because she has zero concern. She's driving up here right next to Katch Esports, just taking a peek to see if there's something that they could potentially get involved with. I know Lily Esports is looking to move up at currently sitting in 6th place, so they have some points that they would like to capture.
Well, points itself, I'm a little disappointed though. Those teams were kind of driving next to each other. I didn't hear a single honk coming out from any car still, so a missed opportunity, ladies. I'm needing to see it. Bella and I want to hear it, and unfortunately we see it here now. New circle shift, potentially we could see it with it kind of centralizing where these 2 squads were heading, just east of Los Leones. lot of teams opting to make the rotations early on. We see often Blue Zone Lone X-Force deciding to wait a long time coming and allow these other squads to fill in and play the edge circle shifts. But a lot of these squads, I'm actually seeing that west side as well, but looking a little congested for the most part when it comes to teams making the same rotations. I'm interested in seeing which of these squads really be able to kind of prevent themselves from falling into the blue zone fights like we've seen the last 2 days, because you've made note of it a lot in those matches. When you fight in the blue zone, you're really just getting caught with your pants down.
Yeah, I mean, and it's going to be a situation. We've got two different squads here. You know, we've got Team Control, who's rolling up really close to, what is that, Phyra IXIA. But right now, we've got Lily Esports, who said, we want to take this engagement with Katch Esports. They are looking for it. Again, Katch Esports coming into this match in 3rd place. Lily Esports is in 6th place. They know what team they're fighting. They're looking to potentially not only take the points and the elims, but to knock Katch Esports down off of the reign, and you know that they've been clearly running on here for a moment.
Yeah, it's always that heat check, knock them down a peg to say the least. And if you're Lily Esports, being the squad that you said was currently 6th place, just a few points behind really that 3rd place money position, needing to get the eliminations, and what better way to do it than to start off with 4 under your belt. But in all honesty, I'm liking Katch Esports' position. They were able to get to this warehouse building first. We're able to kind of call it a place to call home before anything was really said and done. And well, when it comes to the engagements, I'm also seeing possibly even Nina Esports looking for a 3rd party overway. So both these squads having to deal with the danger of a 3rd party, but it's coming to the insides now. Tara, main prime, looking for it, throws it up top. Not sure if it's going to find the mark. We do have the prone off angle. Great spot for it, but Sage opening knock yet again with the utility usage. Has another one primed, ready, trying to find the name for the player. No damage connecting just yet, and well, you have the mollies when you have the team members up. Getting a knock like that, especially on the edge of the building here, Bella, this is where you start aggressing. This is where you start making the magic happen yourself. And well, if you're Katch Esports, if you start getting more knocks and damage down, you got to start equating them to the elimination factors.
Absolutely. While we've seen both land several hits, both teams were able to get everybody back up. So we are still in a 4-man squad. Lily Esports doing all they can to reach this building. Unfortunately, not going to happen with Sora taking Tara down, but she is going to be trying to get picked back up with Carol trying to do damage here. Gets the knock onto Sage. Absolutely, with the good shots right there. And, oh, just missed the jump shot through the window, but it is going to be just taking Carol down. We're trading left and right here now.
Yeah, and I feel for Katch Esports, they're the ones that still opted to actually leave the building and go for the engagement. It's a bit of an overstep, but Lily Esports, they had the man advantage, not playing for the heal reset for Ali, but always comes down to the 1v1s. We do win it, and Lily Esports comes out on top for eliminations to their name, but it's not done just yet. We're talking the Panthers full slamming up. They hear the commotion. They see the elimination feed light up, and they say, hey, we want these 3 eliminations ourselves. Unfortunately, only finding the standing player, not getting the thirst for the extra points, but nonetheless, great play from the Panthers. We're talking this is still the centralized compound in this circle shift. Nina Esports, I'm surprised, Bella, not going for the 3rd party themselves, but the compound fight, when you let smokes go down like that, it becomes utter chaos.
Yeah, I feel like Nina Esports did not capitalize there. Unlike the Panthers, who completely capitalized on the situation, they realized what was going on, make the executive decision to post up in there before Lily Esports was ever able to get anything back under control. They needed to get healed back up. They needed to hit the reload on their guns, and none of that was able to come to fruition because the Panthers shut it down before anything happened. Huge heads up play by the Panthers and a missed opportunity, I feel like, by Nina Esports.
Well, opportunities. Luckily, it's not going to be just this game, right? Not just that one instance. There will be ones in the future. A team that definitely had opportunities last game. We're looking at Phyra IXIA against X-Force on that Aaron Go match. Now turning their sights towards New Moon Esports. Another squad that was sitting at the top of the leaderboard coming into day number 3 here tonight. But after that first game, of course, shifting down the tables a little bit. Now having to deal with potentially 2nd, if not 3rd parties from teams like Control and Nina Esports. So a little bit of danger scenarios for a lot of these teams here. And unfortunately, it looks like for New Moon Esports, 3 players of Phyra IXIA are fixing their sights on 1 player.
Yeah, I mean, this is not at all kind of what they wanted to see. Phyra IXIA is looking across the street at New Moon Esports, but unfortunately New Moon had to deal with, or unfortunately both teams had to deal with Team Control, who was also right there in the mix with them. And that's what we've seen already several times. When somebody goes to make an engagement or they think this is the fight I want to take, they never factor in the thought that there's a potential third-party opportunity. And we're seeing this is the second time we've seen this happen here. So that's something that the ladies are going to need to talk about on the back end, that there is a serious third-party situation, especially here on Miramar, where they can sneak up on you and they're literally on top of you before you even realize what's happening.
Yeah, some people really honestly just get crutched with the sound cue of a vehicle. If you're able to kind of have a map like Miramar where you could see vehicles rotating from 500-600 meters out, it's not only just one or two squads seeing you, it's potentially 3, 4, 5 different teams if they're split depending on where we're at on Miramar. And unfortunately, you made note of it, Control Esports possibly being the third party. Well, I'm seeing a fourth party potential now currently with Burn and Silence, their squad, rotating all the way from up northwest down south, kind of backfilling Phyra IXIA. And well, if you're any one of these squads, we were able to see the map pull up. You have to rotate dead center towards the Panthers compound. The teams that opted to rotate early on here, Bella, having lots of spread, lots of control on this circle shift. And well, when you allow teams to get dominant forces, dominant positions like this, it's hard for you to really find your own spot to call home.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Panthers could be any more dead center of that circle if they tried. Like, holy centerness. That's crazy. They are sitting pretty. We already know where they're sitting pretty at. They're sitting pretty in that really nice big warehouse compound. So all they have to do is defend from that all the way outwards. And they, again, you know, if the zone continues to shift on them, they potentially may not have to leave anywhere. But unfortunately for those other teams, they are going to have to move into this circle. There's only 8 seconds left in this before the zone starts to move. Where you've got teams like Burn and Silence all the way down at the bottom who are really close to the circle. They're going to need to start actually rotating towards the circle instead of going out and around it.
I think the saving grace, though, for some of these teams is the fact that a lot of our top squads are right next to each other. We're talking the Panthers centralized, X-Force northeast of them, and then the Luna Esports squad just dead east of them. So a lot of these big name teams that have the point accumulations might start battling each other earlier on than they would have liked to come into this Miramar, this sort of later stages of the map. But southwestern edge, the edge spot, the spot that we were interested in seeing where these squads decided to call home. We're talking New Moon Esports occupying the compound just along the roadside of Los Leones, while Phyra IXIA trying to potentially get an opening knock or at least kind of wait for the next circle shift to move in front of this team. This is one of those interesting spots, Bella, where, yeah, you're closer towards the centralized spot of circle being New Moon Esports position, but it's so hard for you to rotate when there's a team like Phyra IXIA, like Nina Esports, being able to shoot you as soon as you start rotating. So I'm not sure if I'm a fan of seeing them rotate to the compound so early on. I would have liked to maybe just play the terrain sooner, but for the most part, it is only stage 3. We might as well even be getting some sort of zone bless on the west side here, but we'll have to obviously tell in the next 5 seconds.
Yeah, I'm going to be dead curious to see where this zone pops in. Oh my goodness. Look at that zone shift. This is about to be a problem for teams like Luna Esports, for teams like Force Fem, and even the New Moon here, down here, and Phyra IXIA, and everybody, honestly, unless your team name is Nina Esports, the Panthers, let's see, Goexia or Dior, you got some moving to do, baby. You're gonna have to get a group move on right now, because if you're not, the other teams are about to beat you in. They're gonna get their placement and you're gonna be back in the lobby.
Yeah, in the lobby, that's not where you want to be unless it's you coming out with at least, I'd say, a top 3 placement coming into the lobbies. A lot of these teams needing to make the rotations early on, and we're actually seeing Phyra IXIA, instead of waiting, playing the late game, they're wanting to go for the eliminations now. Unfortunately, Mirai being first to fall for the squad. 2 overwatches, a little bit of a spread play, trying to get the angles with so many windows and buildings to deal with, but unfortunately, you've only got 4 sight lines, 4 guns that could possibly be shooting. And well, when it comes to these squads, this is going to be the fight that we want to see, because if these players keep letting themselves kind of get knocked one by one, as soon as that circle closes, the blue zone is not going to let you get the resets. And well, for New Moon Esports, I feel you're on a timer here as well. You've got to be able to push Phyra IXIA back, as well as find yourself into the next circle.
Absolutely, man. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't like this engagement at all. We've got almost sub 20 seconds here. The zone is gonna start moving, and if they don't start making decisions right now, every single one of these ladies on the screen is not even gonna be involved in this game anymore. Like, they need to get out of the tunnel vision situation, get it taken care of, and get a move on, or start shaking hands and move it into the zone, because the blue zone, Papa Blue Zone is king. He's gonna send you all back to the lobby right now, but Momita getting the knockdown onto Solara from Phyra. Or, yeah, I said Phyra. I thought I said it wrong there for a second. And Mira looking also for the shots on the lady. Or, no, I'm sorry, looking for the shots. Looks like she gets somebody, but Team Control, actually, Burn in Silence, also is into a fight at the edge of the blue zone with Team Control. So we've got 2 separate fights going on right now.
Oh my goodness, and I mean, the fight, is it even a fight if the vehicle just starts sending over your knocked body? And well, for Phyra IXIA, even though they lost the 2 players, they're going to say, yeah, thank you very much. We're going to drive right by you. That fight you were making mention of with Burn and Silence and Control, that's going to be just down the road a little bit to the east. Both of them still struggling to find themselves in the next circle shift, and well, a lot of them now fully scrambling to get into the next zone. We see it here as well now. Team Control not even on the screen when it comes to the map, showing so far out in the blue zone. And well, with this being, I believe, stage 5 currently, the damage is going to start to chunk. You need to start beelining into the center, and unfortunately for them, Bella, I'm seeing it. Luna Esports, the Panthers, currently in front of them. I don't think there's a way they make it into the circle unless both of the squads start fighting like this, but is it really a fight when the nades come through? The Panthers, Bella, opening it up. One knock on Nicole of all players. Luna stuck on the back foot.
Yeah, this is actually kind of a crazy fight situation. Luna has their back to the blue zone. Oh, they are not able to do anything about that. Go dropping into Tigress and Melly dropping into Cam. Unfortunately, Luna Esports is not having a good show of it right now. She is the last player up with a sliver of health, and they are done. Just like that, Luna Esports is going to be out of it. It's a tough situation with your fighting when you're fighting with the blue zone right to your back like that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I felt for Luna Esports. She was trying so hard to get up the ridge, but it was just so steep that she couldn't actually crest it to go for the 1v1 on the buggy. So unfortunate stuff, to say the least. A little bit of a seat swap as well, eating blue zone maybe for 5 or 10 HP, but nonetheless, big win for the Panthers. We're talking 6 total eliminations for that squad so far, Bella. I'm looking at the elimination tallies on our side of the screen, our map tool, and well, a lot of these teams really only sticking with 1, if not 0 eliminations so far. So a lot of the fighting, a lot of the eliminations earlier on in the match from squads that are currently out and down for the count. So this late game, it's all a matter of who's going to be able to sponge up as many points as possible. And well, for X-Force, they're actually opting to eat the blue zone. They're going for a wide and far rotation in the blue zone. Looks like it's going to work out for them. No one hugging the roadside here. I'm not sure who the IGL is for X-Force, but this is a beautiful play from the squad.
Yeah, I love to see this. They've already got 2 team members that are in there posted up outside. But unfortunately, it looks like one of their players did get knocked. They were trying to come in, and you can see them changing courses now about facing to deal with that. But unfortunately, another player does go down. X-Force now has 2 current ladies standing, and they got to worry about Dior Esports, who has some mad verticality on them, sitting up on the hill and being able to shoot down. It's almost like shooting fish in a barrel like that. That's an unfortunate situation for them. I'm not sure she's going to be able to press that and get out.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, Dior is actually fully spread in front of that X-Force solo. So at any point, you could just send 1, if not 2 players onto the edge there, not be worried about the potential third party if you're fast enough to get that 1 extra elimination. And well, when we saw that overall, is before we cut to game 2, we know the point spreads were essentially 1, 2, if not 3-point differences. This is the moment where you got to start getting every point. You start tallying it in the back of your head, trying to at least increase the lead in the lobby for yourself to try to get yourself a cut of that $1,000 cash prize. And well, after this, we're talking only 3 matches remaining. Still up for grabs for one of these 5 squads to take it home for the placement points. But I'm seeing it right now, Bella. 15 total players remaining, 1 solo for X-Force. The rest of the teams at least have 3 members strong.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not even sure she's going to be able to make it out of this. For a moment, I thought that they were going to leave. Does she get... No, okay. That is from Goexia, who Candy has the off-angle shots over here on to Dior Esports. It might give Diablo the moment and the opening that she needed. She gets in her car and tries to get away from the situation. If she makes it out of this, absolute heads-up play by her in realizing what the situation was. Very impressive play on her part. Huge play. Not sure if that's going to last for long, but I got to give it to her for the brain power. Unfortunately, isn't going to be good enough, and she's going to go down to New Moon. Did like to see it, though. Did like to see it, though. As the circle shifts in here, ironically, nobody else is in the zone. So now we've got the only four-man team up right now is New Moon Esports. They are the only four-man squad currently. Dior Esports down to 3, Serenity down to 3. We haven't talked a lot about Serenity either, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do here in this last and final stage. They've only got one elim to their name right now so far.
Yeah, and they're really the only team that can kind of prevent New Moon from getting into that double-digit elimination range. I believe actually 9 total for this squad. So if you're any one of these teams, Goexia, New Moon, Dior Esports, you want to try to prevent New Moon from getting the pop-offs. But if you get a player knocked, the mortar's got to come through, and it's going to land soon. It's right next to him. Doesn't find the mark, but... got to go for the reset. We can't keep it going, and unfortunately, New Moon, they're not going to allow any time to go to waste. The 3-man pull-up Overwatch as well. The reset did come through, but if you're 1 HP, it only takes 1 bullet. Both players knocked. New Moon still having Bichella close up and personal against Amanda. Both players taking 1v1s on the smoke. Scotty will be knocked. Good shots coming through, and for New Moon Esports, even though they're down to just 1, being able to win that engagement puts them at 12 eliminations, Bella. Now, the full resets come through. Dior as well, the other 4-man squad. We're talking a 4v4 situation if both teams can get the full heal resets. And yeah, Dior, they do have the positioning, they do have the factors, but as soon as these resets come through for New Moon Esports, Bella, it's anything for fair game.
I think this off angle by Dr. Pepe is about to get super spicy, because if New Moon crests any of that hill right there, she's going to be able to line them. She's waiting right now, waiting for the opportunity to strike as the nades and the counter nades are starting to come out from both squads. They're lobbing, trying to hit anything. She's looking for the opportunity to pop up and shoot one of them. Like you said, this is a 4v4 situation. It's potentially anybody's game, but I really feel like this off angle is going to factor.
Yeah, and the circle shift actually pulls on into the Dior Esports squad. So if you're a New Moon Esports fan, your team has to crest over this ridge line, maybe even potentially send vehicles over to make this cross, because with all the smokes, with all the utility that was used, I'm not sure how much they have left, but Bones, unfortunately, for Dior going down. It's going to rest on Pepe to at least even the odds here. Looking for the player on the left, not noticing the one on the right in the open. The missed opportunity. Luckily, Killa will find one. The Overwatch angle comes through now, and that's going to be 2 players knocked in the open. Dior holding strong, holding the line, and, well, holding their sights down for the eliminations. New Moon Esports forced to sit in the blue zone, and that's gonna be it. Dior Esports, Bella, winner, chicken dinner. New Moon, they had the eliminations, but ultimately it's Dior taking home the 10 points of placement.
Ooh, that was super impressive. I really do think that off angle by Dr. Pepe factored in massively there, especially when that very last zone shifted over to them, gave her the opportunity to take down a player as they came out here into the open, and it ended up working out for them. Very impressive by the ladies. Not to take away, though, because New Moon Esports walked out of that with 12 elims and over 2,000 damage points. So impressive showing by both teams right there at the very end.
Yeah, and I feel for New Moon especially, they were the team that had to work through certain parts of the circle. They weren't sitting pretty. They weren't sitting down and waiting for the game to come to them. Unfortunately, for Dior, they had a lot of circle shifts come to them. I was honestly thinking they were only going to get maybe 3 or 4 eliminations their way, but they proved me wrong. They were able to get aggressive, go for those eliminations in the late game, and unfortunately, they did have to take the 4v4 at the end, but when you land the shots like that, you win those engagements. Big come-ups for that squad, which I do believe right on the edge of our first panel, that left side of the overalls coming into this game. So the leaderboard shakeup that I was wanting to see, but I feel we're going to see it after the break.
I'm actually really excited to see where the numbers shake out here because, man, as we reach the center stage of this, as we take a look, let's see what we're looking at right now. Dior Esports coming in with 19 total, but look at that again, 12 elim points by New Moon. Interesting. The Panthers still had 7 elims, so they were putting up, but not as big numbers by anybody else in the elim category.
Yeah, and I'm looking as well. Our winners of last match, Katch Esports, only 3 total points. They were the team that had leaps and bounds on the leaderboard, as well as X-Force only having 4 to their name. So teams that we've been hyping up, we've been saying there is that pop-off potential. Unfortunately for this lobby state, Bella, we're saying that for 8 or 9 teams. The lobby, there's a reason why the leaderboard is so close, because every one of these ladies, every one of these squads is wanting to make sure that they get their cut of the $1,000 tonight. And well, having 12 eliminations under your belt, New Moon Esports being the team that was already leading over the last 2 days with having a 15 essential elimination lead over the second squad in elimination counters, Bella, you just adding more to the fire just allows you to really secure yourself into that top 3.
Absolutely. I mean, coming into this match, New Moon Esports was in 5th place. So even though they didn't get the chicken dinner and they didn't secure those numbers, you know, for that, they were able to put up 12 placement points, and that is going to be a huge factor for them. So I'm really curious to see where this shakes out. The closer we get to the end, I feel like it's going to ramp up even more and more for these ladies, you know. Like, I think that that's actually why Lily Esports opted to take the fight with Katch Esports, because they were aware. Yeah. Katch just coming off that W. Lily Esports was in 5th place. They need to be able, or 6th place, 5th or 6th place. They needed those points and those numbers to be able to move up, in addition to being able to knocking them down a little bit. And unfortunately, it just lasted too long, and the Panthers were able to come in and capitalize on all of that.
Yeah, rule of thumb, if you want to move up the leaderboard, make sure your backside is cleared, or at least watched for the most part for the third parties, especially for a map like Miramar. But 2 games done, Bella. We're talking game number 3 getting set up right now. When we come back, chat, don't go anywhere. Rondo coming your way. and welcome back, everyone. Aaron Gale done, Miramar done. Next, we've got Rondo to be our halfway point for the final day of the PMCI Grand Finals. I'm Enigma. Join alongside me again, of course, is going to be Bella, Fox Gaming. Bella, we come out of that Miramar 4v4 at the end. Ultimately, one squad being able to win it. It ultimately was Dior Esports, and well, for them being so close on the overalls, they definitely moved up in some way.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see where these overalls are because I think there's going to be some definite shifting going on. But at the same time, a lot of these teams are consistently performing each and every game. Or each and every match. So, you know, the shifting is like minimal. I mean, unless you have someone that just has an absolute outstanding performance. And as we can see here, there has been a little bit of shifting going on here. The Panthers are still on top, but unfortunately, for X-Force, they have moved down. Katch Esports, they have moved down. But New Moon, they're still holding on to second place. So a lot of interesting stuff going on here.
Yeah, and for the elimination tally, I mean, man, we're talking an 18 elimination difference between New Moon Esports and the next closest being the Panthers. 2 points, by the way, even though you're sitting at the top with 3 games remaining on the night, right? 2 points is not something I'd ever be feeling comfortable with, and we can even go all the way down maybe to that 7th place spot. 8th place, a little bit more of a stretch. I'd need to see a win probably in this rondo to see them kind of shoot up the leaderboard, but definitely anyone on this left side, we're talking a 19-point spread. Being able to have the overcome that sort of beneficiary factor, just one win, especially on a map like this where you can get so many eliminations, Bella, I feel this is the danger zone for these squads on the left side.
It is absolutely the danger zone, but let's take a closer look at New Moon Esports and their elims because they are currently sitting atop the leaderboard with 78 total. The next closest being the leaders, the Panthers, at 60. So that is 18 additional elims. If there's anybody that the Panthers need to be scared of, it's 100% New Moon Esports. They're currently on the cusp of getting another chicken dinner, and I think that they're due.
Hey, if you're due, I'm going to be taking it as that's your pick then for this rondo map, Bella. It's going to be that indirect question factor for the most part, but we'll lock you in, or at least we'll get the confirmation from production if we're going to be locking you in for that one. But my pick, at least, coming into this one, they've been lackluster. They've been stalling. They've been missing the opportunities I feel in front of them, and well, only name that comes to mind when I say that sort of stuff is going to be X-Force. You falling down the leaderboards, you having this reputable name, experienced players behind a brand like that. Well, I expect more out of you. And this is the curtain call. This is the time, Bella, for me to say I need to see the winning team be able to shine out when it matters most. But Rondo coming underway. We've got one plane path, decent spot coming in from the east all the way down to the southwest. So fortunately, if you're a team that likes to drop stadium here, Bella, it's not too close for comfort.
No, it's not. I mean, if they really, really, really love it, they're going to get in a car and they're going to drive over there. But with Rondo being the biggest map here in PUBG Mobile, they've got plenty of room to spread out. So even if it did look like somebody, you know, was in your area, you could just get your car, drive off somewhere else and find some more stuff to loot. Plus, we've got recall towers that factor in here. So again, I'm looking for especially some of these mid-tier teams that are really looking to move up the leaderboard and claim those points. They're probably and potentially going to opt to get a little bit more aggressive than we've even seen thus far because you have the opportunity to get recalled, but they don't last very long, so they're going to have to hit the ground running.
And running for the most part, or at least driving, I feel a team that you got to watch out for definitely going to be doing that on this round is going to be New Moon Esports. They got their spot down there in the south, free for looting. But when you have that 10-12 minute threshold window for the revives, you're the team that has the most eliminations, the most dominance factor, the most pressure even when it comes to fighting certain teams. You want to apply it every second you can. And well, for a map like Rondo, it allows dividends to be paid. But with the circle shift popping, it does pull towards the eastern side. We're seeing Danqing being occupied by Lily, actually being that centralized current spot, but kind of seeing a little bit of a weird situation going on here. A lot of teams actually dropping right next to each other. Nina Esports actually being the ones to fall against Burn and Silence. So maybe a little bit of a miscommunication, a bit of an overset for squads, Bella, but luckily it's Rondo, the respawn's coming to play.
I mean, this is exactly what we were expecting to see. Some of these teams that really need to pick up on the, they need to pick up the pace, get some more elims underneath their belt. They take the opportunity. At least they can come back in and say, okay, it didn't work out the way we wanted it to, but, we got another second chance at this, and they can come back and play it a little bit safer or do what they need to do. But this is exactly what I expected to see from a few of these teams.
Seeing what people, I'm not going to be bringing, I didn't want to bring it up, Bella, but I am now because someone brought it up again in chat. Chrissy, shout out to you. I want to see Bella's whole outfit stand up and do a chicken dinner dance for us. If your team wins, Bella, can we get it on the broadcast right now? If your team wins here this match, we got to see you stand up and do the chicken dance. We got to see you bust the moves out on broadcast.
I mean, you know what, man? Okay, listen, my community knows that when we win a game, we have a chicken dance. It's actually
really,
there's like a whole scene where I have these chickens and they've got sunglasses on and like we're all jamming to some 90s rap, dude. It's great. It's great. So when she says she wants to see the chicken dance, I know what she's asking for. Maybe we need to let production know. I don't know if you guys can play that or not, but if it's possible, if I can roll that scene through, potentially, I will show you that. We can, we'll take a good look at this outfit. I'm very thankful for it. I'm actually glad you guys asked me to wear it. It's the most comfortable thing I've worn in days.
See, and that's what we love to see, and I definitely already see it in our private chat. They're saying, send it over. So they've got a little bit of time. I mean, we're currently in a game, so it's not like they won't have at least some threshold to get it done, at least 20 or 30 minutes. But I feel like we can only do it if your team that you guess right gets the winner chicken dinner here tonight. So for your pick, obviously we've got that clock down. I'd gone with the X-Force, and well, for Rondo, luckily, at least tonight, we've got 3 total games, 2 more after this for us to all potentially see you do the chicken dance here tonight.
We're working on it. We're working on it behind the scenes right now to see if we can't get that pulled over in time. I can't make any promises, but we can definitely see if we can get it done. Even if my team doesn't win, I mean, we might just do it for the memes. Come on, who doesn't want to see chickens with sunglasses?
Okay, well, now I'm down just for us to do it after the game. If we got the time for it, we got to do it. A little bit of a stall moment. Oh, yeah, for sure. But unfortunately, stalling, that's not going to be the case with some teams. I'm seeing Nina Esports currently fighting the duo of Lily Esports. This is actually Nina Esports pulling up from their drop spot to the west, coming in, looking for this centralized position. 2 players knocked. We'll be able to get the resets coming through on the Nina Esports side. And well, the interesting part about this is the weapon choice. I feel about 249 and the JS9, but we're getting a little too overeager. The off angles coming from Lily Esports, dismantling the Nina Esports push. And well, when it's for the 1-for-1 trades, both squads having eliminations. It's all about who gets the opening. And well, Lily, they're starting to put the pieces together.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, listen, mad respect to Nina Esports because they are currently sitting in 11th place. So they need these points. They need these numbers. I love that Barbie here is going to, Oh, man, I thought she might have was going to get that up, but unfortunately for her, she got caught holding that need, wasn't going to get it done, and Lara from Lily Esports is going to take her down. And just like that, Nina Esports is out of it. They walk away with 1 elim on the day, but unfortunately, that's not a great scenario for a team that's currently sitting in 11th place.
Yeah, 11th place, unfortunately. This is kind of that sort of factor part. If you didn't get a win here, I'm going to be discounting you, but nonetheless, the remaining 2 matches, great experience, great moments to have problems or at least mistakes be addressed and made. And, well, you can't take any factor outside of the tournament play alone. It always beats out the scrim play, or at least the practice, sort of speaks. And well, people putting practice into perfection. We're looking at Moon Esports discombobulating Serenity Esports, and we're actually going for a 4-for-0 trade, 6 total eliminations for this team. And well, for a team that was wanting eliminations, Wanheda actually, by the way, Bella, top elimination factor in the lobby, sitting at, I believe, 4,300 total damage before this match. So if you're Luna Esports, you're having Wanheda start to pop off on the last day, you got to keep supporting her.
I mean, for considering this is a gal who literally participated in the PMPL and performed amazingly, I expect nothing less than top tier action from her, which is exactly what we've been seeing. And that's why she is sitting atop of that leaderboard. I'm really genuinely glad that this, I'm unfortunate for the situation that just happened, but glad that the engagement ended when it did, because they are currently in the blue zone. I don't like to see them having fights out here. I need them to, get the little bit of looting done that they need to do and get moving on into the zone, because this is just not a situation where they need to be messing around out here. So kind of glad to see that end early.
Yeah, and early, I think there's always the difference between, maybe those more inexperienced squads and the squads that know what they're doing. When they get a knock, they apply the pressure. They try to get that thirst as soon as possible. And obviously, with this being Rondo, there is the factor of respawn towers, but for the most part, just a rule of thumb on every map. When you get a knock, you want to make sure you get that thirst without giving the trade. You want to be able to get yourself that elimination. And when you have the man advantage, it means other teams don't have as many angles they can watch with their eyes and ears, so to speak. But unfortunately for a team, we're looking at team control right now. You had made note of them at the start of the broadcast, not wanting to change too much. Lady actually being the IGL for this roster, making the comms, making the sort of push up onto Lily Esports. And well, they have one elimination already down for the count. Another player actually looking for the fights too now, being knocked for Lily. The off angle from Carol, not being able to find the mark. And well, for team control, it looks like they read the situation to perfection here, Bella. This is the moment where your team control, you're wanting to get the wins in your sails.
Absolutely. I mean, they have all of the momentum right here, and it does look like maybe Carol is going to turn around and move back from that situation. I don't blame her. They want to actually, make it farther into this tournament, and if they, with only 2 men up right now, they don't really have a course of action in a situation. Unfortunately, Laura, I'm a little concerned about her ability to make it out of it. They think that she's upstairs. She is not. And with that miscommunication on their part, Swarovski actually goes down with her, but Lady is going to pull up with her. In addition, they just roll up on the backside of her. I don't know if Laura's going to be able to make it out of this, but she might be able to take somebody with her. I don't know that that's going to happen. That is a potential wishful thinking? I call that wishful thinking. But anything could happen, man. Anything could happen. She does have a nade in her hand. One well-placed nade could take anybody out.
And it's like a 1v2 situation. Did get good damage actually on both of them. Shotgun as well, being the name of choice for the weapon. And well, you have the S12K. You land the first one. Unfortunately, not going to get the pre-fire through the doorway. Team control salvaging the situation. Definitely a moment of concern, but you have teammates on the backside. You're not taking the 1v1s yourself, taking the 1v2s. Ultimately, you should be winning that 9 out of 10 times. And well, for Lily, it did look like they were able to get at least one respawn onto Carol, but when the rest of the squad is down, when you opted to go for the off angle, as well as having your vehicle kind of strayed away from you, you're in a situation like this, well, you're really just running in an open field. And unfortunately for her, I'm seeing Katch Esports in the distance.
Ah, yes. But, I mean, again, luckily, yes, they are off into the distance. Whether Katch Esports and them are going to run into each other, I'm not sure. I mean, as the last remaining player, not only does she have Katch Esports off in the distance, but then she's also got team control to her back and the Panthers in addition. And now none of them are in the zone. So that's about to be an even uglier situation. Whether Katch Esports is going to opt to, if they know that she's there, whether they're going to deal with her or if everybody's about to turn in. But as we can see on the map, everybody's getting into their vehicles right now and starting to head in, including Lily Esports.
And Lily Esports, I mean, I see she actually was able to get a vehicle, maybe a respawn going down if she was able to go all the way to the east or outside of this circle shift. I definitely would be fine eating the blue zone if it's you getting 3 other teammates up to play the rest of the match. We're talking, I believe, 10, if not 11 squads still in the lobby. So a lot of room to work with, a lot of eliminations to be had, even with the early game going so poorly potentially for 1 or 2 of these teams. If you have at least that one player get out into the respawn towers, you save the game. And ultimately, that's the hit or miss part of this map, right? Whether you like the respawns or not, that is the factor for competitive play. And well, these teams right now, when it comes to the competitive nature, a lot of these squads being able to show their fangs and say, we're the team that wants to sit at the top when it's all said and done. The Panthers being one of them, actually opting to rotate more towards the south side of this new circle shift here, Bella. The north side, though, going to be the congestion point.
Yeah, I mean, luckily for them that they shifted to the south side because nobody's there. But Katch Esports, not going to be so lucky because they're staring down at control. They do have their backs to the blue zone, and they need to be careful because Dior Esports is starting to roll in. We're going to have a third-party potential situation, or they're just going to keep driving right by. If they're lucky, not sure what's going to happen here, but Sage is going to be moving the vehicles. I think that they are aware that Dior Esports is in the area, moving them down into those embankments. And no, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Dior Esports is going to opt to forego that fight. They were like, you know what? Not right now. We're not ready for this. And they are instead going toward the compound and heading right toward BIS Esports. So they're going to get into a fight whether they liked it or not, potentially.
Yeah, but I think for them, Dior might luck out. That's actually going to be just a 3-man in the compound, as well as this being that sort of name spot on the map. There's so much room for you to work with. And, well, with you being so centralized up, you might be fine sharing the compound like this. Obviously, if you get an opening knock-in thirst onto the Burn and Silence members, you might be able to go for the full cleanup on that 3-man remaining. But we're talking stage 3. 5 seconds left on the next circle shift. It's not too dire just yet. A lot of teams still playing it slow, calm, cool, and collective, but the circle shift bell I'm looking at right now on my screen, pulling all the way up northwest. Teams that I thought were going to have a lot of room to work with. Unfortunately, the hard shift preventing that to happen. And, well, unfortunately, if you're a Burn and Silence fan, or as well as the Panthers squad, both of those teams having to move in. And, well, unfortunately, we saw that overhead angle from Pepe here at the center of the circle. I feel, Bella, really just not really playable at all.
No, I mean, that's the problem with Rondo. It's a lot of flat ground. So you have to find the few hills or, you know, mountains. I wouldn't even call these things mountains. Like, what's the opposite of a mountain? Because that's what those things are.
A trench?
Rock formations.
Okay. A grave?
Yeah, graves. They're graves.
There we go.
Definitely
the
graves. You know, we haven't seen any deployable cover come out yet. So that's always a factor, and I feel like it could be a huge factor, especially if this zone continues to center up on what is essentially an open field with a few rocks here and there and a few trees here and there. Deployable cover is going to be a big one for everybody. Also, if they remember, this is Rondo, so they can create kind of divots into the ground with those nades. So that's always the possibility, but I'm just going to be real about that. It's not deep enough, in my opinion. Like, it feels like a shallow grave, essentially. You're out there digging your own grave, so I don't know how much I actually love that situation. It'll be interesting to see as all of these teams are rotating to the outer circle. No one opting to take the middle for the obvious reason.
Yeah, and I feel the only person really kind of toying with the idea was that one solo player of control going in, but it's like you said, right? So much flat terrain. We're actually not seeing a lot of teams either really using nades to make divots. The only sort of utility we see when it comes to making that sort of stuff is the explosive bows, and we haven't really seen that. These ladies are feeling the need to go for the shots, go for the close range, fight for the positions instead of trying to rat and make one your own. So it's always something to see. And one thing that we do like seeing, though, we saw actually the elimination yesterday with it. The mortars, man. And Scatty, well, she's got one. We're trying to make it happen. And unfortunately, for a lot of these teams, like you said, Bella, with it being such flat ground, they're all forced to the edge. And, well, for Phyra IXIA, it's looking like a free eliminations on X-Force.
Yeah, I mean, especially with that X-Force player already being in the blue zone had passed her, so she was already in a desperate situation. Phyra IXIA was able to take advantage of that, get a knock on that. And with the remaining 2 X-Force players far into the actual new zone that just popped, there's nothing they could do for her. They gotta just cut ties and let her go.
Yeah, guys, unfortunately, that's kind of the big pill to swallow, right, for some of these teams, especially when it's someone on the team that's performing, being the one that gets knocked. Ultimately, it might be better of a scenario to try to play your life instead of risking yours for someone else. And, well, still talking stage 5, 11 teams remaining. Every team now really feeling the brunt of Rondo, especially with the circle shift going all the way down fully to the south. We're talking up and down, it seems, for these last few circle zones. And, well, unfortunately, if you're a team like Katch Esports, luckily you're able to kind of ride the tide on the edge. But now's the moment where, well, you really got to start making motions happen in the water and really create the rifts yourself, because even though you have 4 eliminations, they've got 3 or 4 squads in front of them they have to work through. And, even though you have 30 seconds, maybe a minute or so to work with here, Bella, I feel the time is never going to be on your side.
It is never going to be on your side. And with that type of a zone, they've got pretty far to go. They've got X-Force, who was able to, again, their last two remaining people that were chilling in there. Plus, they've got New Moon down here. So while, you know, Katch Esports is one of the few remaining four-man squads, we've got four teams that have four-mans up. That's Katch, New Moon, Dior, and Luna. They have kind of the farthest to travel, and they are on the move. And I feel like they're about to run into a situation, and the situation is named New Moon Esports and X-Force and the Panthers. So spicy, it's going to get spicy. And a team control player or Goexia player just for kicks.
And I mean, we're talking the Shack plays as well. We're seeing now it's the place to call home. Unfortunately, for the last few seconds of X-Force's life, we're talking 9th place, just short of at least getting one placement point. So the team that I called out, unfortunately, not going to be the case. And well, the rest of the lobby, a lot of names still, unfortunately, for the X-Force female women's squad. Well, it's all the teams kind of resting right around them on the leaderboard. We're talking New Moon, Katch Esports, the Panthers, as well as Luna Esports, and potentially Lily Esports actually passing you. So the race for top 3 is definitely still on. And well, the eliminations coming through stage 5, the next shift, I feel, even though we've seen so much carnage, I feel, come through in these last 2 circle shifts here, Bella, this is going to be the deciding factor. Man, I mean, how do you even work with something like that?
Bro, that's ugly. That's ugly. I mean, they're all out there going to be digging the graves for sure. That's definitely what, you know, creating that little divot in the ground is called. Is definitely out there digging your own graves, because luckily for Luna Esports, they are a 4-man team. They are in where the new zone pops. So, and in addition to that, Dior Esports on the north side of them, they are also a 4-man squad up. They're only facing Lily Esports, who has 1 team member down. But Luna is having to deal with a knocked player. So I don't know, man. This is about to get spicy. I'm concerned for the other team members that are on the outside. I'm talking Katch Esports here, who are all the way on the north side, but they've got the farthest to travel. And in addition to New Moon, who is my pick, they also got a ways to travel into the new position, and it looks to not be like a great spot to have to be. Is there even anything to hide behind in the new zone? Like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Listen, you're playing for 3rd place at this point, okay? You're letting Dior and Luna Esports get the top 2, and then you're just battling for 3rd place. And I feel the squad that's got the best position for that is potentially going to be Lily Esports here. Even though they're only a 3-man, I believe they will be able to at least wait the longest until rotating into the next circle shift. But we're talking about Spice, Bella. If it's the player from Luna, from Luna Esports, if it's Juanetta, who currently, by the way, 5 eliminations, if she's the chef, I'll eat anything that she's making here tonight in this match, because these players right now, a lot of these big names still left up for grabs. The elimination tallies, there's a reason why they're the pop-off players. And well, now we're shaping out Katch Esports. They're forced to make their move. Unfortunately, just the prime position of Dior Esports reigning supreme. Still not even going to be close to this next circle shift. You're battling it out for the placements, and really it's just a free-for-all, and who's going to get these elims finally?
Yeah, and I mean, if I'm going to make some outright predictions, I feel like they're all sitting ducks out there. I mean, I'm just going to call it right now. I feel like Luna Esports, who already has 12 elims, and the damage at 2465 is looking to clean up on this game. I don't think there's any way that they can be stopped right now.
Yeah, and I feel even though it's just Juanetta, just in these last 10 seconds alone, Tokyo and Nicole both picking up essentially 2 eliminations each, but they start overlooking, they start over-peaking it a little too antsy, understanding there's a few solos left in play to potentially get 1 or 2 eliminations their way, but New Moon Esports still trying to hold on. They did use that deployable cover. You were wanting to see when that would get used, while Katch Esports, unfortunately, they only have the man-made divot to work with from the vehicle explosion. Circle shift, though, still not favoring either of these solos, and really, you're going to have to start making the mad dash here. Luckily for them, it looks like Dior and Luna actually opting to look at each other instead of the solos here. Maybe a missed opportunity, but nonetheless, the shots come through, Bell, and we're talking top 3 scenario now.
Absolutely, and I think New Moon is going to opt to go out at the blue zone. They're going to deny those points, which I don't regret it. That's going to come down and make it Dior versus Luna here in just a moment. Unless, Scatty. I mean, she's going to make a liar out of me. Holy, she's like, I'm going, but know, I'm taking one with me. She does get the knock. I don't know if that's going to be able to do anything as she does go out to the zone, denies the point. So again, wanted to just call that out, but we are up against Dior Esports versus Luna, who does have one team member knocked, so it is going to be a 3v2, actually. Dior now has a 2-member up. Again, I called it. I think it's going to be Luna all day.
Yeah, and for Dior, unfortunately, it's just even with the knock, having the players go down, it just doesn't allow you to press over the hillside. It allows Luna Esports to have the dominance from up top, and well, when you see Waneta get in the vehicle and start getting close, you damn well know that she's going to be winning that 1v1. So big winner chicken dinner for the squad. The females putting up big damage numbers. By the way, 3,300 damage as a team. Just 4 players in the lobby there, Bella. We're essentially talking 700-800 damage as a 4-man unit. So everyone on their part there, I'd love to see those individual stats, but as a squad, they're putting up LeBron numbers.
Man, that's insane. Is that the first? I think that's the first time we've actually crested over into 3,000 damage mark. So
yeah,
that plus the 19 elims plus the chicken dinner, and they were sitting in 5th place coming into this match. So I need to see what this end zone is going to be, because end zone, I call them it. I watch way too much football, brother. I watch way too much football. But I need to see what these numbers are going to look like on the back end, because I'm expecting there to be a huge shake-up. Again, X-Force going out. New Moon, they did have some placement points there, but I don't know that they had. New Moon only had 3 elims. X-Force only had 1 elim. So oof, I think we're going to have some serious situation and some serious movement going on here. I'm excited, but nervous. Excited, but nervous.
Yeah, and I feel really just unfortunate for some teams, right? You know, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And, well, when you're at the top, it hurts even more when you start falling down on the final day come the overall leaderboards. Obviously, we're cooking up the match results right now for you guys, but for the most part, these teams, it's always a game-by-game performance. And this tournament especially comes down to every single point that matters. And I was so disappointed seeing that Luna Esports just 1 elimination short of breaking into the 20 elimination total. We haven't seen that just yet tonight or throughout the tournament. We're talking a 30-point game. Them obviously having the 19 just short. We'll be at that 29 when we do get those results pulled up for you guys. But man, I mean, just the damage numbers from some of these people, I feel, Bella, coming into, especially tonight, they're making sure that the nerves aren't getting to them, and well, they're going to be shooting as straight can be.
Yeah, I mean, the only next closest team to them was Katch Esports that put up 17 elims, and the damage, I want to say it was like in the 25 or 26. So there's 19 elims at 3,200
wow,
damage, and it's almost 3,300 damage. I mean, it's 3,293, so let's just call that 33. That's absolutely insane. Enigma, what do you think about these new rankings?
The rankings, well, for the match results as well, I'm really just not sure where it's going to be after the 1 or 2 points, because we're seeing there 3rd, 4th, 5th place. New Moon Esports, they put up 8. It wasn't just 3 or 4 like we saw X-Force in the previous game. Lily Esports, 10 points themselves. Katch Esports, 11 points themselves. So those squads on the cusp of breaking into it. Unfortunately, matching each other's vibes, matching each other's outputs, and well, when you start doing the same thing, that's where the fatigue starts to set in. That's where you really start trying to one-up over and over again, and that's where we start seeing mistakes happen. That's where we start seeing the over-eagerness start to shine through a little bit, and the mistakes get capitalized on from squads that can keep their nerves together. But for these other teams, if you're kind of out of the running, it's still amazing practice to go against teams battling it out tooth and nail, trying to play perfection of competitive PUBG Mobile. And for the tournament like this, you and I, we'd love to see these matches all day, every single day of the week, 365. But unfortunately, we have to end the tournament tonight. And well, when it comes to these 3 matches played so far, 2 remaining, anything's still possible.
Anything is absolutely still possible. I would love to watch 365 days, 7 days a week, 24-hour matches. Like, are you kidding me? How many games do you think that is? Like, if in a game, I don't do math, so, you know, yeah, 30-minute matches.
30-minute matches, you don't get a break, no sleep, so whatever that is, 2 times 20, 48 times 365. Whoever's the magician in chat, let us know. 600 or so, 700, let's just say 800 games. I'd be fine watching 800 games a year, as long as it's something like that.
I would too. I mean, I would never not be entertained at all. And the thing I love about these battle royales, honestly, is that it's what makes this genre so popular, is that every single match is different. It's not yes, we are doing the same things, but it's never the same match, and anything can happen, as we say in football, on any given Sunday. I'm just gonna keep with my football references because my team is doing really well this year, so I'm very hyped right now. I'm sorry, I had to get that out of my system. But
well, the playbook, Bella, it's gonna have to be coming through. I mean, the Hail Mary, to say the least, for some of these teams, especially if you're on that cusp, maybe in that 7 to 8 range, where you're gonna have to be leaving everything out on the table. Don't go anywhere, guys. Rondo underway. We've got 2 games left on the night to see who's gonna take their cut of that $1,000. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back. everything leads to this. We're talking the halfway point just crested for the PMCI Grand Finals, day number 3, the final day of the tournament. 3 out of 5 matches down tonight, Bella. And well, unfortunately, we are done with Rondo for the evening and for the tournament. Next is going to be Erangel as our final Erangel of the tournament. And well, it always comes down to those overalls, right? The total points of what these squads are really doing. Let's get a quick peek at that before we go to game, because the movement, it hasn't stopped just yet.
Man, this is absolutely kind of crazy. Some of these teams are moving up. Some of these teams are moving down. I'm looking at Force Fem right now. They started the day out on top, and they're just consistently kind of moving down a little bit. And with the point spread being so close, especially second place through, 7th place here. I mean, they honestly, now's the time, ladies. Now's the time. We obviously have seen you do it before. You can put in the numbers. You can put up the elims, put up the points, placement points. You already have 2 chicken dinners to your name. You're gonna need to pull another one out if you want to get back on top.
Yeah, and really just the cat's got to come out of the bag, not just for X-Force, but I feel Dior Esports and Lily Esports, those teams, just those 3 alone in that 5th, 6th, 7th place position on the overall leaderboards. 4-point spread, but we're not in the money range there. We're all at least having to reach that 3rd place position of a minimum of a 7-point difference. And unfortunately, like you made mention of it, X-Force females, they haven't performed too well, but they are a squad that can turn things around and very well potentially could come into the last match, but we're talking 4 out of 5 currently. We're not at the final game just yet of the tournament. We still got Erangel to play, and well, with this playing path, if you're an X-Force fan, it's a little unfortunate, Bella, because they always go Millie.
No, I know. I mean, I will say, the last time we saw a plane path like this, I did see them dip out around Milta, get in a car, and drive down there. So because we haven't seen where the circle's going to pop yet, they may opt to do that. I mean, they are going to be getting out kind of late here on the plane path, so it looks like maybe my guess is that they would go not anywhere near where I think they're going to go, because they're going to make an absolute liar out of me. So hospital, it looks like maybe where they're going to drop off. I like it though. You know what? I like it. Keeping me on my toes. That just tells me that they are aware of the situation. They understand that it's make or break time, and that they are making adjustments on the fly as they need to in order to climb back up to that leaderboard, at least to get into 3rd place, like we said, so that they are in the money.
Yeah, and the money, and very well, obviously, if you're able to get into the 3rd place going into the last match, if you can keep it maybe a 5-10 point spread between 3rd and 1st, I mean, you still are able to aim for the top dollar amount in the lobby, being that 1st place position. But unfortunately for X-Force, they've got moves to be made themselves. They obviously dropped hospital there on the west side, but it's going to be centered fully up onto the shelter, prison, mansion field. This is one of those spots on the map where if we were to essentially center it up completely here, Bella, it's one of the worst spots in the game to try to find yourself a place to call home, because it's completely flat. There's 1 or 2 compounds, and it's always just 1 or 2 teams being able to farm the rest of the lobby. And well, for a lot of these teams, we've seen a lot of farmers come out of these squads. A lot of these women players are able to get those shots down and be able to get the damage numbers they need, because well, if no one else is going to be able to do it, you might as well take it yourself. So, interested enough to see. We obviously see Luna Esports here, the team that actually overtook 1st place from that last match here, Bella. Actually having, I believe, a 9-point lead over 2nd place coming into this 4th match of the night. So, a little bit of a point spread, but obviously they want to make it more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and really, other than, dealing with Nina Esports, who is situated over at the school right now, they don't have to really worry about anything. They do have Rozhawk all to themselves. But that's not to say that that's going to stay the situation for very long. Obviously, X-Force is going to have to be moving in from South Georgia Pool. And if they just came straight east, they'd run right into them. So they also have to contend with BIS Esports potentially over up on top north, coming down across that bridge right down there by Rozhawk. So that is going to be an opening for them to potentially cross into this circle. They've got time to loot up, but, keep your head on a swivel, ladies. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I feel as well for the last Erangel we saw, especially when it came to just that late game hill fight. So many third parties coming from the backside. We think maybe it's just one squad we're taking on. No, it's essentially 2 or 3, whether it's off angles or just people kind of just stacked on top of one another, not really realizing it just spills disaster in every way. So you got to keep the toxicity to a minimum, at least that sort of cancer that can potentially grow. Nip it off from the bud, or else really you're going to allow things to fester too much. But for the most part, it is Erangel. A lot of these teams know, they understand what their drops are going to be. We didn't see any hot drops to this map that we were kind of expecting to possibly see coming into the final matches of the tournament. But luckily enough for these ladies, I feel, Bella, it's not the final game. I feel Miramar next. If the points are close enough, we might see hot drops happen.
Absolutely. And, you know, when I asked all of the different teams if they planned on hot dropping anybody, everybody said that they didn't, with the exception of one team, and that was New Moon, who said that they weren't planning on hot dropping anybody, but that they do share drop spots with a couple of teams. They did not mention which map that was, but said that if they needed to take those engagements and they felt like that, you know, it was something that was going to improve their standings based on where they were at, then they would absolutely consider that. So they were the only team that did not write off hot dropping.
Yeah, and actually for New Moon Esports, we see it currently. They actually opted to leave the plane essentially as the last squad going all the way to Primorsk. They only have Serenity next to them in that quarry area. Potentially a fight brewing later on when these rotations, start to come through from both of these squads. But only time will tell with that, of course. We see Serenity still looting around. I'm not sure how many vehicles they actually have opting to loot quarry. This is one of the more unfortunate parts of the map where the roads are so far from the actual loot that really a lot of teams opt to kind of just leave it for the takings later on in the matches. But they're being stage 1. They've got time to work with. The heals hopefully being up in the upper 3s or 4s of medkits in the backpack. And well, when you play competitive PUBG Mobile, I think there's a range of how, like, kind of the minimum you want in a game, right? At least 1 med kit, 2 or 3 smokes to your name, and a frag to work with. Bella, if you were to be in this lobby, what would be kind of the ideal setup for you? Give me the guns, give me the utility count, give me the med usage.
I mean, listen, realistically, I would probably be rocking like an AUG for, you know, longer range, and then I would want the AKM for up close. I mean, that does high damage output. I gotta land fewer of my shots, and when time is not on my side, then I'm probably gonna be opting for something like that. We're obviously gonna go with a big fat level 3 backpack, as many nades and smokes as I could humanly possibly get into it, and I'm gonna save the nades and put that stuff in the car, and I'll just run back and sit in the car.
Really?
That way, if I need to heal, I can lay down on the side of it, or if I'm in a buggy, I can lay down in between it, kind of heal in peace with nobody bugging me. But you know, again, I'm a classic player thinking with a classic brain, but I feel like it's not too bad of a loadout, you know, if I was gonna play comp. What do you think? As a former comp player yourself, assess my loadout, sir.
See, I think you're cooking with it. Now, if you could get your best beach banana impression with the AK, you'll kick ass with it. He was the only competitive player from back in the day that would use that gun, and he'd make it look easy with it. No one was comparable to him. Lots of people, if you've watched tournaments from back in the day, you understand exactly what I'm talking about, or at least the highlight reels he used to make, which, by the way, awesome edits from back in the day. I do still believe he actually does editing now, but good enough stuff. I like the fact that you wanted to include the nades and smokes underway, and I always forget, and I feel a lot of people in chat or the players forget as well, you got storage in the car. Okay, throw the extra stuff into the trunk because, well, if you've got junk in the trunk, you might as well start throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, at these people. And well, when it comes to the last 2 games of the tournament, you're definitely wanting to do that, but it's always a matter of where the zone circle shift happens, right, Bella? It's a matter of where it goes, and, well, if we can pull it up currently right now for everyone to see, it's looking like it's going right down towards the south, towards Milta.
I don't know that we've had... I can't remember the last time I saw a Milta power finish. Like, I would not be upset if that's where we ended up going, because... And I miss OG Milta power. I mean, that was some good times.
Take me back.
You know, when they brought that back, I actually had forgotten what it looked like until I walked over there and saw it. I was like, oh my God, I totally forgot this is what this place looked like. That's how long we've been playing this game. That when they brought back part of the OG parts of it, it was like, holy goodness. They were cooking a long time ago. They're still cooking with it now, but now it looks a little bit different. It's got a lot of good places to hide. So, you know, plus we got a big beach over there. Big area to hang out.
You're a beach person? I never pictured you as a beach person. You're a hovercraft person. That's not a beach person though, Bella.
What?
The hovercrafts, I feel that you get them at the beach, but it doesn't mean you have to keep the hovercraft at the beach. Okay, it's not a boat. You can take it up to Mount Everest if you wanted to, Bella.
Can you really? Does it go up that far?
Of course.
Oh my God.
It's like a regular car. That vehicle, Bella, is like a floating tank on water and land. Why do you think X-Force, the male squad in Americas, was using it so much on air and goes? Because it's essentially just a walking floor for you to sit in.
Yeah, I mean, you know, maybe after watching how much the comp scene uses it, PUBG Mobile will increase the hovercraft strat. You know, I'm sure maybe the ladies right here, you know, at Team Control, maybe they were wishing that they had a hovercraft. They could just hide inside of it for a moment. But
oh, yeah.
It's unfortunately not the situation that's going to be happening. And Nina Esports is going to have to duck inside because they're getting shot down on by Lily Esports. And we're eventually going to have a little cluster of a situation because Team Control is in the area. Plus, you've got, you know, Goexia right down the street from them. And you've even got Katch Esports down in Milta, who honestly, it takes like 0.3 seconds to get up there. So it'll be interesting to see what's going on up here if they continue to engage with this. But I just want to draw attention that also, in addition, is that the Panthers that are kind of driving into the area. So I don't know, this center zone area, albeit being kind of crappy, is filling up a little bit.
Yeah, and I feel for it being just that last circle shift. We saw it on the first zone that popped. Not a lot of teams in the center. That second one popped, though. These teams were saying, hey, we're going to hedge our bets. We're going to take these compounds. The unfortunate thing that might come through is the fact that if it shifts off of you, if one of those other squads is still in play, that is the freest gatekeep of your life. And you don't want to be the team outside in the blue zone trying to push one of the compounds, because even just down south, the shelter, a lot of the spots are flat and open. And unfortunately, being in the open, one of the players for X-Force are going to be getting knocked from Goexia. This is a spot where it's only going to be these two squads up here, Bella. We might be seeing a 4v4 happening.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know how much I love them having to fight up here because the only thing is like a few shacks. That's it. That's it. We're wide open, and hopefully nobody walks over the edge and falls down the hill, because then it really is going to spell disaster for all of them. But it's going to be interesting to see what X-Force chooses to do here, because Goexia is getting a little bit aggressive at the same time. But X-Force is going to be back into the vehicles. They are bugging out, it looks like. That's exactly what they are going to do. They have to be careful, though, because they potentially might run into Moon Esports, but it does appear that they're going to be turning south. Goexia, I don't know, man. They're looking to get into the mix here. They're 8th place going into this game, so they need elims. They need rank placement. They are on the hunt. They're ready to go. Ooh.
Yeah, and I mean, you just got to be ready. I like the fact that you made mention of that. Even though they're the 8th place squad, they're 20 points back from the Esports, the 7th place team. So essentially, they're needing to go back-to-back wins if they're wanting to get into that, or at least back-to-back top 3s with double-digit elims if they want to shoot up the leaderboards into the money placement. And, well, for X-Force, I think it was a good call for them to move backwards, but nonetheless, seeing them missing the vehicle, passenger seat swaps, not really, you know, being too collected on maybe where they wanted to go, there very well was a good possibility, I felt, where we could have seen X-Force drive into their deaths, into their graves, into Luna Esports, but nonetheless, that's not going to be the case. I'm liking this POV, though. Serenity in the farm area, the sort of split compounds around Inlet Bowl of the city, but unfortunately for these teams, though, Bella, we're talking next circle shift popping, and, well, they opted to go center. They opted to go south towards Milta, but they're saying, thank you very much. We're going all the way up north.
Oh, it's actually getting even more desperate looking up there. Literally, the only compounds at this point are going to be prison, which is a big hole, and then Shelter, which is an underground hole. So other than that, Mansion is slightly in a little bit, but obviously after the zone shift after that, I don't expect any of that to be in that. We're looking at some wide open flat terrain again. We don't have deployable cover on this map, so, you know, maybe mortars are going to factor in, but we're about to see a mad dash of all these teams that drove to the south side getting their cars and start driving, because somebody's going to need to center up on Shelter. It looks like the Lily Esports is going to try and claim that for themselves. Goexia going to sit down here in this little compound across the street from Target, or, you know, actually it does look like Lily Esports is going to drive across the street and take Target for themselves. So there's not many compounds. I do like this, though. I think this is good calls on both of these teams to take these buildings, because they're running out of real estate real fast.
Yeah, and the real estate itself, there's actually that sort of Alamo compound just northeast of Walmart that Lily could potentially even split loot. The only squad that's really on that north side of the map was Dior, and they are occupying Mushroom or Heaven, whichever compound you want to call it, because that's the best spot for them. They don't want to move. They don't want to get too over eager and move around the map left and right, while teams like Lily Esports and Goexia, like we saw, made the mad dash early. So lots of teams finding their spots to call home. If I had to choose a team that maybe has it the worst in the center here, I've got to call out Team Control, because they're at the shelter, because there's so many lips for other teams to potentially pull up onto Bella. I feel there's too many opening spots for other teams to kind of weasel their way in, but see a lot of teams are actually opting to rotate around the edge of the map. Nina Esports, Luna Esports potentially going into Dior. We're seeing Serenity go all the way from the west side up to the top side of the map. So teams, they're making moves, they're making IGL calls and decisions. I just hope they're not going to regret it in the end.
I mean, honestly, I think these are some good heads-up plays by them, because realistically, if I'm the IGL and I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna know that these other teams rotated before I did. They're probably gonna try to take Sunner Compound, which is gonna be the shelter, and/or around that area Target. So what is our next best option? So to rotate all the way up here north side by Mansion and try to come down in, I don't think those are bad decisions. Unfortunately, they might not be the only ones that made that decision. Obviously, we've got Dior Esports that already is claiming this hill up here, and that is a good top-down view. But this little like woodsy area behind one of the Nina Esports players, again going down by Dior Esports, so that just proves that they do have a good POV on them. They've got a lot of, you know, hilly terrain to work with back here, unlike once we start getting out into the open. So I'm not upset with this. Yeah, they get the knock, but they're able to get the pickup. They're not going to push into that, but at least not yet. Not yet. They're on a 2-2 split, though.
Yeah, unfortunately for Nina Esports, one of their players actually having to opt to go for a reset on Zulema. So if you're one of those Dior Esports members, you're seeing both players being knocked on opposite sides of the circle, essentially in the blue zone. They pushed the initiative and they actually cleaned up both of those players. So Dior Esports leaving the compound they occupied, recognizing the situation and capitalizing on eliminations to come their way. But unfortunately for them, I'm seeing 4 players stacked right next to each other, and a potential Luna Esports third party come their way if the shots were able to line up. But the circle shift popping, they're opting to play for the next zone. We're talking this divot just west of Walmart, just west of Graveyard, that Goexia currently occupies. Only 1 or 2 dips for teams to play here, Bella, and really no terrain to work with at all either.
Oh man, just when I think it couldn't get any uglier, it does. It's absolutely kind of crazy. Now I will say that they're lucky that area exists now where we can pick up the cars, because obviously that didn't always used to be there. So that is a good building now that people can use, but this is about to get ugly, and look how many teams are having to rotate in. They're trying to make the decision, do I rotate immediately and try to go for the center, or do I opt for maybe playing the blue zone and rolling in with it, you know, and finding the best place to come in at. So many of these teams are, it's almost like split. They're all coming in from the north side, or they're already sitting in the center. This is kind of crazy, but I do love this little spot by Team Control. If they can hold it down and nobody else can get a good line of sight on them, otherwise they could be sitting ducks.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, they'll have to honestly just be sitting in the bottom of that bowl. They're not really able to peek and get shots down like the southern dip that Exports currently occupies. But in terms of dips, it's going to be all the way up north here, going actually outside of the blue zone. Luna Esports 3-1 split. Tokyo on and off angle, holding down the likes of Dior Esports, while Dior Esports unfortunately trying to salvage the situation, having to deal with a third party now from Phyra IXIA. Moments, actions needing to be done, and unfortunately the only team that feels comfortable doing it here and now is going to be Juan Heda and friends. Nades prime Nicole holding the off angles, the smoke peaks, saving the teammates. And well, when you start driving up like this, it doesn't matter if you have smokes down, Bella. The shots will rain through, and this is where you start falling like dominoes. Dior down to just one. Make it none now. Make it just one for Phyra. Everyone dying to Luna Esports, and well, they're not taking any casualties either.
Absolutely. Luna Esports is on fire right now. They were the first leading team coming in to this match, the #1 team. They were able to dispose of Dior Esports, putting them out as the very first team that goes out. Dior did have 3 elims, so they were able to collect a few, but that isn't going to be enough for them when they so desperately needed those points. Luna Esports, again, trying to clean up that last member of Phyra. I don't know that I don't know if they're going to be able to do that or not, but Luna also getting sights down onto Nina Esports. So it's kind of crazy, you know, because they've got so many options and they're going to have to pick and choose what direction to go for, obviously allowing the Phyra IXIA players. So now they've turned their attention to Ari and Barbie of Nina Esports, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Luna, they had so many eliminations out for the zone, but just allowed the compound to be claimed by Nina Esports. And it wasn't even Nina Esports claiming that initial knock onto Nicole. It was going to be Lily Esports from the east, seeing the toes, whatever the case may be, off from Narnia to the side. We actually see it here now with Tara's angle. Yeah, being able to get easy shots down, but circle shift popping. Both of these teams, if they're opt to go for the fight, not going to be fighting for a position in the circle. The only one that's really safe for you to be playing for is the one that Team Control currently occupies. And just look at this spread, man. Just making sure that if someone gets slammed, it's going to be only one person getting knocked. This is the way you've got to play the OP dip here, Bella. And well, for everyone else, as OP as it might be, you're just hoping someone else goes before you on that fight.
I mean, where do you even go if you're not already in this zone right now and you try to drive up and you're like, nope, occupied, nope, occupied, nope, occupied. Like X-Force here is trying to figure out how do we get in to the zone currently. They would love to take over the spot that Team Control has, but they're going to have to take it by force. Not sure if that's going to happen or not, but a lot of these teams that are on the outside, you know, Moon Esports, Katch Esports, you've got other ones like Goexia, they're going to have to figure out where to stand. Otherwise, they are going to be literal sitting ducks.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a sitting duck. What about running across the road like a chicken soaring? Unfortunately, no vehicle to work with. We see all 3 of them actually exploded on the shack. Make it just Sage now for Katch Esports. And well, you're wondering what X-Force was going to do. They have to deal with Goexia coming in as well from the eastern edge. We're talking a 3-way fight for the open hillside here, as well as potential backstabs from Serenity or the Katch Esports solo. And well, we're talking 11 teams up currently still, Bella. I'm thinking this number is going to drastically drop in the next 30 seconds or so. But unfortunately, even with the OP spot, the OP dip, Team Control Lady being the first to fall. And well, if you're Goexia, I'd honestly like to see the team turn their sights to this fight and really try to capitalize on it. But they're going to play the shock. They're going to leave Meows down and out for the count. They're going to play the rest of this game as a 3-man. Team Control possibly blessed, but with the next circle shift here, Bella, they've got to get that reset fast and now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Team Control, you know, they are literally backed into a corner, but everybody needs to pay attention. They are about to have 45 seconds before the zone shifts, and Goexia needs to push in onto Team Control, but Team Control has actually got a pretty good spread out here, honestly. If you kind of look at their placement, they're as wide as they humanly can be, covering that whole dip area. With this nade that Lady's getting ready to toss over onto Goexia, she takes a big chunk for it, but is she able to connect onto that? I don't think she is. I don't know, man. It's getting crazy, and they have 19 seconds. 19 seconds. So move it or lose it, ladies.
Do you even move with the vehicle though? I mean, it's too risky. I feel you gotta be ready to start shooting your gun. And Well, for Goexia, or at least the thankful part for Control, is that Goexia is looking to turn their sights towards X-Force in the back. No one is able to crest and shoot these players in the back just yet, but the team that has to move first, X-Force, they're starting to get in their vehicles. They're driving, and well, they're opting to go up and over to the west side. They're not going to take the fight with Team Control just yet. They're going to try to drive right on by them, send it into the circle, and potentially make a wall for it themselves. Team Control, same idea as well as Goexia, but unfortunately for Exia, we're talking just a solo Control. Recognizing the situation, cleaning up one squad. We went from 11 to 6 teams in the last 30 seconds, Bella, and well, it's not stopping just there. Just now, the nades are coming through, and unfortunately for the X-Force female squad, they're down to just a solo now.
Yeah, that's absolutely tragic for them because they actually got zone blessed right there. Zone centered up on them perfectly, but they are not even going to get to experience it, unfortunately. We've got 2 remaining teams that have 4-man squads up. That's going to be Luna Esports and Team Control. Luna Esports has been pretty zone blessed this entire match, but they find themselves, you know, for one of the first times having to move down into the new zone with the zone at their back. They're going to have to go to the champion player to do it. Getting shot on right now. Nicole obviously stops, takes shots down on the go, connects with Yummy. Oh, actually Cam is the one that connects with Yummy, and Goat lands an S12 key shot onto Nicole. It's going to be unfortunate. I'm not sure if she is going to be able to make it back up, but Juanetta is busy right now for herself. She is going to get the nades, or she's going to get the smoke off, and she's going to try to get that pickup off as quickly as she can.
Yeah, the pickups have got to come through. This is a repeat of the last Miramar we just saw. 4v4 situation, 2 squads that are desperately needing points. Control, who suffered yesterday, trying to at least maybe go back-to-back and sneak out that 3rd place position on the leaderboard, while Luna already sitting in 1st place, having essentially a 10+ point lead on the lobby now, wanting to make the gap further, trying to close out this tournament, leaving the last game for room to work with. But we've got to win in this engagement. The placement points matter from 2nd to 1st place. We're talking 10 if you get the winner chicken dinner. And well, for Team Control, unfortunately, they're getting pushed to the edge. Luna Esports has all the room to work with, but Cole's the first one to get caught out. Nice seat swap into the knock onto one of the Luna Esports members, but both squads, they're losing players one by one, but it's ultimately Team Control. The winner chicken dinner coming through, Bella. 9th place before this game. I'm not sure how high up they'll be able to shoot up the leaderboard, but good stuff to see from this squad.
Absolutely. I mean, regardless of whether they're going to be able to move up very far, it looks like they had 7 total kills to their name. That's just got to feel good, especially against the team that's leading the tournament right now, Luna Esports. So to go in there, to have that confidence, you know, get in that Chapina, we saw her jump in her vehicle, come down, make the push onto that team, and force the finish right there. So good stuff from them. I don't care what, that's got to feel great. They really needed that. Good, you know, good job for them, man.
Yeah, and I just feel really sad for a lot of teams, right? X-Force comes to mind, Team Control in some regards. So many teams just forced to deal with those hard circle shifts, those hard pulls, and ultimately going over tooth and nail over other teams' bodies and members for the most part, trying to just get into that circle shift. But unfortunately, it's a matter of who's able to keep those players upright. Getting knocked is the biggest no-no when it comes to PUBG Mobile, especially when it comes to those late game scenarios. And well, I can't say it was going to be Luna Esports losing that. Both squads had players knocked right when it came down to them realizing it was that 4v4 situation in the end. But just commemorations to Team Control, right? A team that we had seen lots of performance out of through the qualifiers. Day 1 as well. It was just a little unfortunate with their Day 2 performance yesterday.
Yeah, I think that they really actually capitalized on everything that they had to work with right there, which was pretty minimal, obviously. Maybe we saw Swarovski, she was up on top of the shack, you know what I mean? We've got a little bit of height looking down. They were already at the top of the dip on them, so just to add a little bit more height to increase her chances of landing those shots. Plus, again, Chapina jumping into the vehicle, rotating around to the left, and just securing and forcing the end of that fight. I think that was just very well played by them. Absolutely impressive.
Yeah, and impressive stuff indeed. Let's bring up which squad's really impressive in the end. A lot of fights, a lot of knocks going down, but ultimately it's going to be 2 squads here getting big elimination, or at least point totals in general coming through the match. Team Control, obviously 17, 7 elims, like you mentioned, Bella. coming through, netting them a good amount of points. But Moon Esports, 12 eliminations. I believe at one point we saw Nicole with 5 just herself. So it's not just a one-man army on that team. It's going to be a full 4-man roster performing. Burn in Silence as well. Decent numbers, 8 total points. They're one of those teams that's on the right side page, unfortunately, but still good to see the fire burning inside these women's squads. While, of course, the Panthers, the only other team that I can really commemorate getting decent points here, Bella.
Absolutely. I do want to make a mention, though, that Serenity as well, rounding out the top 5. Between Burn and Silence and Serenity, these are both teams that are on the right side page. They're lower, lower ranked. But like you said, they've still got the fire burning. And I have mad respect for teams that when they know that they're in a situation like that, they're not going to win, the tournament, but they are not ready to go out fighting. They're not just going to roll over. And I think that that is so impressive and something that we cannot overlook. That's just, it's very commendable. And I'm so glad to see them do so well during this match.
And I feel it's just a telltale sign, right? The mental fortitude. I'd rather be losing with someone that's trying till the end than really just have a teammate that wants to give up after the second day. And unfortunately, you don't know what your teammates are going to be like until you get into these sort of dire situations. Pressure makes diamonds, and unfortunately, not everyone's going to be keeping true to that form. Don't go anywhere, guys. We're talking game 4 done. 1 match remaining. 1 final Miramar to see who will claim their share of the $1,000 tonight. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back. everyone. Welcome back, everyone. 4 games done. We're talking 14 total matches have been played so far for the grand finals of the PMCI Season 1 Women's Tournament. And well, for the most part, every match, every single day has gotten spicier and spicier. But unfortunately, Bella, we're talking the next map is the last one. We will be crowning our champion, but unfortunately, we're not done just yet. Let's take a look at the overalls real quick. Let's see what we're talking about and really which teams we're eyeing to see who's going to take home a cash prize.
Ooh, man, Luna Esports is really just pulling away. They're really cementing themselves, obviously, here. That's the biggest gap I feel like we've seen thus far. But interesting when we're talking about money spots, because we've got second place and third place only separated by 2 points. And then obviously Katch Esports coming in 4th place. They have really been proving themselves over and over again. They absolutely have the opportunity, in addition to, you know, Dior Esports and a few others, to kind of move themselves up into the money range. I think that this is going to be, obviously, it's the last match, so it's make or break for a lot of these ladies. It'll be interesting to see if they change the way that they play, if they, you know, make any more aggressive moves, because obviously I don't think that they have the opportunity to be passive this round.
Yeah, and passive definitely is not the name of the game. We're talking, if you're not Katch Esports trying to get up in that 2nd, 3rd place range, 5th, 6th, 7th place positions, I'm needing to see a win out of you. You can't be allowing the chance for maybe a 15, 16, 17 point game to be enough. We've got to make it into the 20 range. We got to get up there in the big leagues, not just in the damage, but the eliminations and the placement range. And well, we've got it ready here and now. Miramar, the final match of the tournament, the final match of grand finals, and for us to see who is going to take home their share of the $1,000 here tonight. Bella, it's been a blast, of course, and luckily we've got one more game to watch tonight.
I know, I'm super excited for this. I really can't believe that it's the last match. I feel like this just started. This has been such an, this has been such a great opportunity, and I'm so thankful that I was asked to do this, because I gotta say, this is the best tournament I've probably seen it. I'm not saying that just because I'm involved and because I'm casting it, but literally, I've never seen anything this close. It's always like 1 or 2 runaways, and then everybody else just kind of, you know, whatever. But this has just been exciting from start to finish, and I just have mad props for all of these teams and all of these ladies for continuing to fight it tooth and nail all the way here to the end.
And I feel for a lot of these teams, doesn't matter if you're at the top or bottom, we've caught so many moments of your squad seeing the brilliance, whether it's individual, team play, IGLing, rotations, whatever terminology you want to phrase it to. The moments of brilliance are there. Unfortunately, it just comes down to which squads can have that consistency factor more turned up than the others. And we see it here now, of course. A lot of teams, especially today, obviously, I'm thinking of X-Force comes to mind. The consistency throughout all 3 days. It's only been 2, the last day a little bit short, but you can phrase that up to a lot of these other teams, right? Unfortunately, as much as I would like this tournament to continue going on and on and on and keep this leaderboard within a 20, 30 point range, everything good must come to an end. We see the first zone pop just west of Lily Esports. We're talking a centralized zone shift for circle number 1 on Miramar here tonight. And well, if you're Lily Esports, I've got the question mark to throw out there, Bella. Do you stay or do you go? Do you stay in Picado? Because even though it's such a nice real estate spot, with it being stage 1, I feel you honestly might want to hedge your bets and leave this POI spot. You don't want to get locked in here.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to be in such an obvious spot is not the word I want to use, but it's like, dude, it's in Picado. I mean, I don't know. I'd want to be like somewhere that's maybe a little bit more sneakier. You got a lot of places to hide out here, you know, and obviously exactly kind of what we're looking at. Serenity here up on the hill, being able to look down onto control, but these are like good hiding spots. So they're able to use the terrain to their advantage, you know, and obviously it seems like some shots have already been fired, but luckily this is, you know, this last match is going to be on Miramar. We're not going to have very many places, if any, that's really is going to be the situation where we just ran into, where it's like a wide open field. So this is helping, you know, hedge these ladies' bets for the best possible opportunity to gain points and placement that they can.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I feel it's just a little bit too big of a stride to have to make right at the end into just one match. remaining in the tournament, but nonetheless, at least get the practice, get the reps in, get that repetition going for future events, which hopefully we'll have many more coming through with PMCI, especially when it comes to these sorts of tournaments or anything, which, by the way, of course, make sure you're following @board_control on Instagram. You're following, you're hitting that subscribe button on the YouTube. Get the updates, get the information if you're wanting to watch or possibly even compete in tournaments like this. They've got all the information for you to use and know and love. And, well, for the most part, getting back to this tournament, this final game, a lot of these teams, I feel we're going to be seeing a lot of passive play, especially those squads in that second, third, fourth place range, because even though all these tournaments, we say it can come down to 1 or 2 points, Bella, we're at that point where it's going to be a 1 or 2 point difference, I feel, claiming whether it's an extra $100 or maybe even just claiming just $200 as the minimum prize. So for Miramar, it's always a matter of time, right? And unfortunately, time is never on these teams' side.
Yeah, I mean, we are really in an emergency situation. Oh, look, there's a Golden Murado sighting. Love to see it. I have to point it out. Dr. Killa, jump right in there. Tag the hood, please, with ZFG. Love you, love you. But, it's like we said, we preach and we preach and we preach and we hype, and it's like, it's not necessarily an emergency, but they've always got a little bit more time. And then you find yourself into this last match. And I hope that we're not, that nobody has their backs against the wall. I feel bad about that. And then you have to start making decisions that you necessarily don't want to make. And that's like a worst case scenario. You feel forced to do things and that kind of play outside of your style here. So it'll be interesting to see if everybody makes, if they're proactive or are they reactive? And that's what I'm going to want to see, with this last game. I feel like some of these teams need to be a little bit more proactive than they are reactive. Yeah. Just to help themselves, especially if you're in that 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th range where the placement points are so close and literally one game could put you in the money.
Money. Who doesn't like money? And, well, I'm going to be making you be reactive right now, Bella. I didn't ask you. I'm asking you right now, final match of the tournament, who's going to be taking home the cake? Who's taking home that winner chicken dinner and possibly securing themselves that cash prize at the end of it all?
I mean, listen, man, it's kind of hard to go against Moon Esports right now. They are literally flying high. I feel like after that last situation, with Team Control, they're ready to be like, all right, just kidding. You know what I mean? So I feel like with this match, they're going to try to secure themselves at the top of the podium, and plus also to just kind of prove a little bit like that it was maybe a fluke on their part. So I'm going to stick, with Moon Esports.
First place, not a bad pick. The most wins we have actually throughout all the teams is going to be 2, split between essentially 4, make it actually 5 squads in the lobby, having 2 wins under their belt. So they would be able to shoot themselves up, but one of those other teams, it's actually going to be the next closest with 2 winner chicken dinners. It's going to be my pick for Katch Esports, the team that currently is 8 points back from second place. If they're able to get a win, get the eliminations underway, they could very well steal away not even third for placement in terms of the prize payout, but also second. So my pick, it's got to be Katch Esports. Then again, we could also throw in any of those names below. I feel Dior Esports, X-Force females, as well as the Lily Esports squad. Just any of these teams, if they get the win and the right amount of elims, they can be walking away with some green on hard cold cash.
Absolutely. Now, do you think it's a more stressful situation to be at the top and trying to hold on to it, or be that second, third, fourth, fifth team and trying to gain and break into that? Which of those 2 situations do you think is a little bit more stressful?
Excluding Luna Esports, because obviously they've got that buffer. I don't think they're really going to be losing first place. I think it's harder for you to maintain your lead, because then you're going to start counting other people's points. You're going to be understanding that all the other teams below you are going to be watching the elimination feed like a hawk, seeing if you get knocked or thirsted from other squads. And, well, it's always easier to chase when you have a target in front of you, right? Not just trying to hold the podium up in front of you. And, well, for the Panthers, New Moon Esports, I'm not sure how many situations they've been in like this where they're having to hold the lead, but we'll have to see here and now, of course, if the pressure will get to them. The new circle shift did pop. We're talking a pole a little bit south of Picado. I wanted to see Lily Esports potentially move. They opted to go directly to the center, this sort of crater dip, this god spot almost, while Mina Esports, of course, is just a little bit further south of them. A lot of teams opting to play slow here. I'm seeing New Moon, X-Force, as well as Goexia still kind of out either in the blue zone or at least off in Nardia outside of this next circle shift. So a lot of rotations coming through, Bella. I'm not sure who's really going to be able to keep all 4 players up still coming in the next circles.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm stressed out. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even in this game, and I'm stressed out watching them because, you know, it's one thing to be fighting on the edge of the blue zone and you're really only facing forward and you're fighting in that direction. But, you know, if you're Lily Esports and you're literally chilling in the middle of the map, you got to be rotating on a 360 swivel and looking all the way around you, because we've seen time and time again that third-party situations, especially on Miramar, are almost guaranteed. So I feel nervous. I feel nervous for these ladies. And as we can see, you know, you've got the Panthers that are rolling right up into their area. It'll be interesting to see how long they're kind of able to hold down their ground and if they're going to get overtaken.
Well, overtaken for the most part. Melly looks like she's trying to play with the idea of getting an opening knock. Tara might understand the situation given the communication that, hey, someone's kind of taking a little bit of a peeping Tom scenario looking at it all, but with the Panthers opting to rotate more towards Picado, trying to flirt with the idea maybe of actually taking this engagement. But now seeing Serenity, I feel down south, it's actually really esports players catching off Nini Goat in the distance. Big knock come through immediately. There we go. For one of our top 7 teams. So for the second place squad, Bella, we're talking it was a 2-point difference between you and New Moon Esports. You're losing a player early on. I feel the stress is already starting to kick in.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't see how you're not stressed at this point. It's just not what you want. They clearly were trying to avoid that situation. We can see how far she got shot from, and she was just able to absolutely laser and land those shots. So that he's going to change your entire gameplay from here on out. I don't know what they were going to be doing, but it ain't going to be doing what they're currently doing, because they're going to have to change their strats now in order to try and gain any additional elims and points. And it's just kind of an unfortunate situation because I can't imagine how stressful it's got to be for these ladies right now. Oh
my God, stress. I'm actually getting shot like that. I mean, completely downrange. Almost getting knocked. 249 action. We haven't actually seen that too much coming through from the competitive girls here throughout the tournament, but gotta turn our sights to the action here and now. Lily Esports, 1 player knocked. Goexia opted to make the same rotation as the Panthers, but said, hey, we're feeling to take this engagement. Even though one's knocked, there's a potential maybe for a backstab or a third party. Both squads dialed in, eyes set forward, looking for the shots, and 33 live. Just trying to get shots down onto Alley. A lot of these players really opting to play for the off angles, but the issue is when all of you start trying to be the hero here, Bella, you start sicking out like a sore thumb. Who is going to make the first mistake? Because Lily Esports, they're dangerously close, especially Tara, but with the nade here, I feel this might be the opening they need to get the eliminations.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does happen. Carol getting the nade down onto 33 live. She goes down and gets knocked. Tara with the potential, almost trying to get the back end of a Goexia player as she jumped into the shack, was literally the only saving grace that kept her from going down too. Lily is holding strong on the top of this mountain. They are absolutely not ready to let this go. Princess taking the shots down onto Carol, not really connecting, but just letting her know, hey, we're there, while they're trying to get the pickup onto 33 live.
Yeah, and I feel it was a little bit of a missed opportunity from Princess. You had the Overwatch angle. You had to be the thorn in the side for Lily, but unfortunately not enough damage coming down range. She will be the first to fall. It's going to be 1 player of Lily Esports getting thirsted out. The thank you goodbye on to Carol, but 3 players strong still. We're talking 5 eliminations total. This is one of the teams wanting to move up the leaderboard, 7th place coming into this match. Unfortunately, they lose one off the do or die thirst, the last player from that squad, but for them, they still have numbers. They still have a chance to look for that top 3 podium, Bella.
Absolutely. I mean, they've already got 5 elims to their name. So, I mean, they're starting off strong. And like I said, they were holding that mountain. They proved that it's theirs. They defended it. They didn't let anybody take it, even when the Panthers were trying to drive by, even when Goexia tried to challenge them for it. So they proved that they know what they're doing out there, and that even though that they lost someone, they're still a 3-man team. They're probably going to have to adjust a little bit, but being able to secure 5 elims, over 1,000 damage points already, when they're trying to gain any number of points to get up into that 3rd place spot, it's looking good for them right now.
You know, if I wanted to see something that looks good, Bella, I look in the mirror. Okay, I know we've got the camera feed going on, but thankfully enough, when we got PUBG Mobile going on the screen, I'm comfortable with just that too. And well, when it comes to this map, at least the circle shift, it's not too bad. It's not deadly like the last few I felt we've seen throughout the night so far, but I felt when it came to those stage 4, 5, 6 circles, that's when we start seeing the hardships. That is where we start seeing teams struggle to move into these circles. And well, see it here now. Moon Esports, the squad currently sitting in 1st place. Essentially, they would have to be the next squad eliminated for even a chance at another team taking the 1st place position. But it's not just one team getting the lion's share, Bella. We're talking 2nd and 3rd place also has cash prizes. And well, if you wanted to make sure, like you said, if you want to dominate yourself, cement yourself as the best team in the lobby, well, Moon Esports, they're going to want to finish strong. And hopefully with their positioning here with the next circle shift, they're hoping it pulls north for them.
Absolutely. And I like what they're doing here, dude. They've actually got a 2-2 split going on right now. So that only not speaks to their confidence in playing this game, you know, the way that they want to play it, but they've also got some insane angles right over into Picado, Overwatch into Picado, and from the west side of it looking in. And as we can see looking at the map, we've got a few teams that are already moving into that area. Dior Esports, who is in the chase for money. The Panthers, who is in the chase. You know, Lily Esports looks like they're going to be bugging out, but so it's going to be interesting to see how Luna plays this. Like you said, they would have to go out next for this to not be, you know, a win situation for them. But I'm looking for them to not only win the tournament, but I think that they can secure the chicken dinner here themselves.
Securing, we'll have to wait and see. One squad trying to get at least a few more eliminations secured. It's going to be Serenity actually opening up the fight with 2 utility knocks onto Phyra IXIA. Tigress going for the reset. Mirai not able to get Chi up just yet, but it's always a matter of time. Unfortunately for Serenity, they're actually holding a 2-2 split themselves. Amanda having to come from Narnia, actually from the center spot in circle to try to clean up this fight onto Phyra IXIA. And well, they pull up on the right player, just Mirai here, close and personal, beats the smoke, doesn't get one. Both players knocked in front of the Serenity duo, and this is the moment you start congregating, you start collecting yourselves as a squad. But an opening knock is traded immediately. With it being a 3v1 situation, Tigers has to come big for the squad, and well, the nade comes through, doesn't find one. That's going to be our next squad eliminated for the night. Thank you for competing in the tournament, but unfortunately other teams still have games, still have points to move up the leaderboard to try to claim their prize. And well, it's not done just here, Bella. Katch Esports for Lily Esports coming in right now.
Oh man, this is going to be a big one right here because Katch Esports and Lily Esports are in the hunt for the money. They are both Lily Esports. Obviously, let's remember that they are down to a 3-man team, so they're going to have to play this smart. We've got Taro, who is sitting there ready with the Molly in case anybody tries to breach the situation. They're kind of off on a 3-1 split there while she is separately in the house. And then we've got Lara, who is trying to flank around and rotate to see if there is any opening they can see to take any good shots. But right now, that is a compound that doesn't have a ton of windows or anything. And as I say that, she is able to get a little bit of shots off, but they've got some good coverage. So Lily Esports is going to have to be able to secure that, or they're just going to have to push the compound.
Yeah, I was honestly wishing Lily Esports would maybe disengage and go for the circle rotate, but instead they're looking to take the 3v4 engagement. Man disadvantage, but it cannot matter. You need to go for these points, and unfortunately it's against the team that I wanted to see win the match to shake up the leaderboard, being Katch Esports, but rival. If you're priming nades like that, you get the opening knock, you potentially put yourselves in the driver's seat, will get traded immediately, and well, for Katch Esports, you're struggling to assemble the squad, will finally be able to get Tara down to just Ali. The lean peak comes through, but it's only good for one. Katch Esports, 2 players knocked. They won't be losing anyone. And, well, for Lily Esports, it was a valiant effort, but unfortunately down to a squad that needs the points just as bad as them. We're talking Circle Shift closing in as well in 20 seconds for Bella. A little bit room to work with, some reset timers being able to come through now, but it's going to be short-lived. The window's closing, and, well, they've got to get into that next circle.
Absolutely. And I'm a little disheartened that Lily Esports decided to take that engagement. I think that they should have backed off from that, live to fight another day. They already had 5 elims to their name, and pushing that compound, they were not able to secure any more elims. So they went out with 5, and I don't know that that's going to be enough. Actually, I know it's not going to be enough. So that's an unfortunate situation, but it's a situation that they can learn and live from. They'll go back and look at it on the tapes and say, okay, maybe we shouldn't have done that. But it all comes, this is what we're talking about. You know, you kind of get panicky. There's always, you know, the stress and need to push through. Do I need to take this now? Do I need to, you know, you might not be thinking clearly, and that's something that they would potentially have to work on. But right now, X-Force is fighting, or they're not fighting, but they're living on the edge, was what I was gonna say. They're living on the edge of that blue zone, potentially having to move in down to Serenity, you know, push it into Serenity, who only has 2 remaining players left. So X-Force is a 4-man squad. They've got a potential to pick up a few points here. They only have 1 kill to their name as it stands.
And unfortunately for X-Force, they were actually able to catch one of the Serenity players on rotate, understanding that it was just a duo, but they didn't recognize Luna Esports. We made mention of it earlier, the 2-2 split. They were still holding that. They got an opening knock from a third party as Luna onto X-Force. So a little bit of damage control coming through, put out the fires. We see this new circle shift, only 2 squads in this zone. It's going to be the 4-man of Burn in Silence and the spread play of Luna Esports. Who is going to be able to make it into the next circle shift? My eyes glued on this east and western parts of the circle here, Bella. I want to see X-Force. I want to see Dior. I want to see the Panthers, as well as New Moon and Katch Esports. These are essentially all the teams that have a fighting shot outside of Lily Esports of finishing in the money placement. And, well, we're talking top 9 situation still. 9 teams remain. You're not getting a placement point if you're the next team to go.
No, and I'm a little concerned about X-Force out here, because while they're in an engagement with the 2 remaining members from Serenity, the 2 members from Luna is moving in a little bit closer, and as we see, a 3rd member from Luna is now coming down, so they're in a 3-1 split right now. I'm not sure if the 4th player is going to be coming down, but they've also got Burn in Silence that's right on the inside of them. So I am really concerned about X-Force's ability to get all 4 remaining team members in here. And I think I just saw a mortar. I saw a mortar.
Whoever's got it, shoot it again. Get it going. I'm not sure. It might be one of the Luna. No, I don't see someone on Luna having it out. Maybe it's a Burn in Silence player, but unfortunately for X-Force, they have to deal with both Burn in Silence and Luna Esports, who don't have to take a single shot at each other. There's that little ridge in between the 2, that handshake of, okay, if they come to us, we'll take the elims, and if they go to you, we'll let you claim them. But circle starts closing. We're talking 19 seconds remain. Cam trying to take the longest shot in case X-Force tries to move in or potentially ignore the fact that there is the ridge line, but we're ignoring Picado. Dior pulls up behind Luna Esports. They're going to be a full 4-man slamming the compound, while the Panthers, New Moon, Katch Esports as well, turn their sights towards the north. So everyone making moves here, Bella, and with the new circle shift, they're going to have to keep doing so.
Yeah, I mean, just when they're kind of starting to make those moves, they got, you know, sub 1 minute about before they're going to have to keep making it in. And as we can see, there's nobody in the new zone yet at all. So all of these teams are on the outside. A lot of these teams, we've got Dior Esports, who is just looking for an opening to take shots on anybody. Killa potentially trying to shoot Goat, who is so low, isn't going to be able to connect on that, and they're trying to get any of those points. They need these numbers. That's what the problem is. So they cannot play passively, even though they got to play smart, but they got to play fast too. It's kind of a, I don't know, it's a tough situation to be in. Glad it's them and not me, honestly.
Listen, we call that it takes the 2 to tango. I'm not wanting to be the one to dance, or at least I ain't got the magic feet, to say the least, but some of these people do, and that's why they thrive in situations like this. And I feel Luna Esports, of course, believing after this, these essentially 1 or 2 placement points, they'll secure themselves that top crown spot. But we're wanting to see how the whole match plays out. We're wanting to see what other squads are going to be able to put up points on the board. We're seeing Dior Esports being the next line of sights for Luna Esports. Going to be sharing the compound. One of the members actually getting knocked, potentially a fault, a stumble almost for Luna Esports to potentially move into the next circle, because we're talking the new circle shift popping, but action coming down on the south side. New Moon Esports having to deal with the pull-up of Control Lady. Priming a nade, getting good damage down, and the knock. Swarovski, unfortunately, getting caught out in the open. Players falling left and right. 2v2 scenario, and well, I'm not seeing any nades primed just yet. Now we're seeing it pulled out. Both teams desperately needing to clean it up, and New Moon, this is the player you want. This is the team that has the most elims in the lobby, and well, there's a damn good reason why that's the case. Nades like that landing make good teams into great ones. We're talking top 3 situation here, Bella. Knocks around the map, and really everyone struggling to find their spot in this match.
Absolutely. I mean, we've got Bird in Silence, who is the only technical 4-man team up here. New Moon with 3 and Luna with 3. Now, Luna is over here below the ridgeline a little bit. So everybody, oh, there we go. Scotty from New Moon. She has the mortar out, and we are really close. So she has potential to do some mad damage here. I mean, I'm not saying I want to see it happen, but I want to see it happen. I absolutely want to see it happen.
Oh, look how close it was.
I mean, I'm surprised she still has legs.
Oh, she went on either side of Nicole. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, she's so close.
Another.
Just adjusted a little bit. Adjusted a little bit. I don't know. She might be out of mortars.
How many do you have though? Yeah.
That's an
I wish we had a backpack check. I wish we had a backpack check. I think she's out of it. I think she just used it off one of the bodies there. So unfortunate stuff. Now New Moon. They've got the zone closing in on him here, Bella. They're actually trying to drive in between both teams, but can you make it in between, or are you going to be a part of the meat sandwich? One of them going down, another player 1 HP. It's going to be just one member standing for New Moon. Every point matters, and well, with the eliminations going every which way for all these teams in the top 7 here, Bella, I'm not sure if they've got enough. We're talking Luna Esports being the only real secured spot tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they were absolutely able to play. They mostly played on a 2-2 split, waited until they absolutely had to come down from that mountain to provide the over coverage for the rest of their teammates. I think that was such a well played by them. They were confident. They played like it.
Nice.
And even though that we're trading, we've got Biss dropping down onto Tokyo, Nicole dropping down Blair from Burn in Silence, and Nicole pushing in, trying to secure the finish on to Biscuit. But it's going to be Luna Esports.
Yeah, and with Luna Esports, even with the winner chicken dinner, they were already sitting in first place. Okay, great stuff to see from them. But let's just bring up the graphic for everyone to understand what just happened. Final game of the tournament. We're talking the champions of PMCI Season 1 Grand Finals. The brawl, the get-through qualifiers, the bonus points that some teams had to work with, ultimately allowing Luna Esports to say, no, we'll keep it to our gameplay. We'll make sure we're the dominant factor when it comes to those point totals. And well, for Luna Esports, they did it the best out of anyone.
Yep, they absolutely did. It was such an impressive show by these ladies. I just want to point it out that I called it once again. I mean, I'm like, I don't know, 10 for 10 or something like that. I'm sure the numbers are insane. I think of all the casters that have ever casted in the history of PUBG Mobile Esports, I've been the most correct. I will have to get somebody to officially check that, but I think it's the facts. It is what it is. And it was just such an impressive play by these ladies. Again, watching them do that 2-2 split, and they were confident. We were not seeing that by everybody, but they were confident enough to be separated, even though teams were closing in on left and right side, and having the two come down at the absolute last second when only the blue zone is what forced them into it, just leans more credence toward how confident these ladies were in their ability to secure that chicken dinner.
Yeah, and the crazy part about it too, when we had the start of the show, right, we showed the top elimination leaders coming into today. I don't recall any Luna Esports members being up there. It was X-Force, it was New Moon, and then it was a Panthers player. So
Yeah.
us seeing them being able to finish in first place, obviously they got a win, they got some nice top placements. They didn't get it all for first place just from today's matches. It was a performance from the whole team coming from the first few days. And well, for all these squads, there's a lot of teams we can definitely commemorate as we get the overalls loaded up for everyone to see who finished into that top 3 bracket, because I mean, so many of these female squads, Bella, just especially the top 7 range, they were just putting up numbers everywhere.
It was just honestly very impressive to watch. This was such a close race from start to finish. This wasn't like we had runaways in the beginning or we had runaways at the end. I mean, everything was just right there, and that's what kept our attention, that's what kept their attention, and that's what kept all these ladies, you know, they had fire in their heart and they kept it throughout the entire tournament. So, I mean, what's not to love with that?
Well, love for the most part. I'm seeing it here now. Luna Esports team combined damage right here. Going to be a crazy number. Out of 15 matches, we're looking at just short of 18,000 damage as a squad. The next closest, 16,000 from Lily Esports. So almost a 2,000 damage increase from, by the way, just 15 matches of play from one specific squad. So a lot of teams putting up great numbers. We've obviously got a lot of players we can commemorate. I do believe we'll have an MVP showcase after the overalls as well when we get that sort of formula formulated. But when it comes to the tournament itself, Bella, let's get your thoughts on it.
Oh, man. I can't believe it's over. Like, I'm exhausted. I'm honest to God exhausted. And I'm just casting the thing. I cannot physically imagine what it's like to be one of these ladies. I get stressed out for them. So, I mean, you know, there's the added pressure of, I need a Red Bull, bro. I need a Red Bull. I mean, it's, whew.
The energy drinks, I don't have mine next to me. I got some water.
I need, man, listen, I need that kind of level of energy to play like these ladies, because as a content creator who literally only plays classics, I just can't imagine the stress and the mental, like, games that just have to go into trying to do what they do. And I am just, honest to God, so impressed by them. I mean, I know I'm like everybody's cheerleader, but at the end of the day, like, it really is genuinely impressive. Whether you're at the bottom of this list or whether you're at the top of this list, you're here for a reason, and it isn't just gun, you know, good gun skills. So overall, this was the absolute most exciting tournament that I've ever been able to not only watch, but participate in as well. Well done. Absolutely well done.
And well done indeed. Shout out, of course, to production, anyone watching, and of course you, Bello, to be able to join me in casting these matches, because I definitely had a blast too, man. All these players being able to show up. I'm seeing the clips, I'm seeing the posts online, all the orgs getting active saying, make sure to tune in to our team. But the moment they're telling us in our ear, Bello, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's get a look at the overall. Let's see who's finished in the top 3 after that Miramar. We know Luna Esports is in first, but New Moon Esports, they hold on to their top 3 placement. They get it with 132 points. They actually pass up the Panthers. Before this game, 2nd and 3rd place, Bella, they were switched. Unfortunately, all the other teams down below, they had good point totals in that last Miramar, just not enough.
No, and that's, you know, unfortunate situation for the rest of the teams. They weren't able to perform like they needed to in that last match. And I've got to be sure that that was probably extremely crazy stressful for both New Moon and Panthers, because they needed to, you know, they needed to perform and do what they needed to do. I'm sure, you know, a little bit of the switching there might be a disappointment for the Panthers. They lost out on 2nd place, but they're still in the money. So, you know, they can't, you know, there's nothing to be mad about there. Finishing in the top 3 was the goal, and they were able to get that secured.
Yeah, shout out though, of course, I gotta make mention while we still have the overalls pulled up. 2nd place, New Moon Esports, just 5 eliminations short of Luna Esports. Obviously, Luna, we see that winner chicken dinner column. There's a reason why they have such a large lead of rank points compared to a lot of the other teams. But man, I feel sorry for teams like Lily Esports and Katch Esports. That last game, we saw so many moments of just them wanting, they were just dying for the points. They were wanting it so badly and desperately, but unfortunately, you run into one of the other teams that have the same exact mindset. So valiant effort, of course, from all these ladies, all these squads, all these organizations that are competing here in the North American PUBG mobile circuit, and of course in the PMCIs. Hopefully we'll be able to have more events like this in the future, but the overalls, I believe we are currently done with them for the most part. Commemorations for everyone, but I know we've got an MVP. Coming here, Bella. Let's take a look. Which female superstar was really able to stand out? And, well, it's one head of top elims, top damage. We're talking 28 total in just 15 games. That's almost a 2 KD in the pro lobby. And, well, almost 6,000 damage. You wish you were putting numbers up like that.
Oh man, bro, I wish I could sniff even a fraction of numbers like that. Absolutely impressive, you know, and as somebody who has participated in the PNPL, I expect her to perform like this. So it's good to see that she is able to continue to put up impressive moments just like she has previously, and it doesn't look like that train is going to stop anytime soon. It's just, this is wild to see.
Yeah, and I know for sure if you're getting a lot of eliminations like this, you're definitely going to be having the highlights reel posted. Hopefully, you're able to get our commentary, or at least our reactions in there, to say the least. But just to clarify, let's bring up our pricing graphic just to make sure everyone understands what these top 3 teams have won. Luna Esports, first place, $500, half of the $1,000 up for grabs in this tournament. New Moon Esports securing themselves second place with $300, and for the Panthers being able to skate by with the third place, hold on at least to some money placement coming out of that last match of the night, getting $200. So great stuff to see from these ladies. Bella, I know you and I, we've had a blast for it. Is there any more final thoughts you want to give for everyone?
You know, one thing I did want to point out that we kind of didn't mention before was New Moon was able to secure and hold on to that sector. Well, I should say secure it because they overtook Panthers there in the last. They're one of the only teams that's up there with no bonus points. So they were able to do that on gaming from this entire tournament throughout, but 0 bonus points from them. Yeah, so I feel like that is something that's pretty impressive, and I didn't want to overlook that. That just lends, you know, more to their skills. But overall, man, can we just start over at the beginning? Let's do it again. Let's run it back. Because I had a blast here, and I'm just not ready for it to be over, honestly. I'm just not ready.
Well, hopefully, I mean, every good thing must come to an end. Hopefully, they reach out to both you and I to do another one of these things together. But, of course, shout out again to you guys watching, anyone that's playing in this sort of tournament production, and of course the people behind the scenes getting all the magic happen. That's going to be it for the tournament, guys. Congratulations to all the teams. Make sure to follow at @org_control on Instagram for the finalization of scores in case we've missed anything, as well as any future event registrations and information. I'm Enigma, joined along beside me Bella, and unfortunately this is the last day, but we had a blast, and of course we'll see you on the battlegrounds.